Welcome everybody to the CrossFire podcast. We were about to have a show before the show even started. So I said, please, guys, I'm like, don't, because you guys, I know they all have great, I've been reading what they've been tweeting. I've been reading things in the DM. We've been all talking to each other. I know everyone's got very strong feelings on this, very strong feelings on one of the greatest episodes of CrossFire. So guys, there's going to be a lot of Mooch screaming, so I recommend a lot of earmuffs. Great. Okay, it's going to be great tonight. You're going to really, really want to be here. But let's get started with our introductions. First and foremost, the man himself, Crap Gamer, who's very opinionistic tonight, and I can't wait to hear it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Thank you guys for spending your Friday evening with us. Yeah. We hope to make it good. Let's be honest, it's probably going to be a lot of Spider-Man talk. I got to spend a good 6.5 hours into the game today. Nice. You guys are going to definitely want to hear what I have to say, especially if you are one of those people that aren't really a sheep that like to listen to what the mainstream media and just the people who like it just because it's a PlayStation exclusive. If you really want to hear, so it's good. There's some great points to this game, but there's a lot that a lot of people glossed over, and I happen to love not glossing over things.
I agree with Crap, and I can't wait to get into it. Let's go to our next guy here, Xbot448, who is the newest YouTube celebrity to show his thumb off today. Welcome to the show, buddy.
What is going on, everybody? It is another Friday. We got a lot to talk about.
You always get bombed on the intro, Xbox.
From now on, Crap Gamer is going to do my intro for me. But no, it's nothing but love, man. I cannot wait to get in, talk about Spider-Man. Yes. Hopefully I can somehow, some way, squeeze Forsaken in there somewhere, but I can't wait. Yeah. It's gonna be an awesome show, man.
No, we're gonna talk about that too. But before we talk about that, let's talk about a guy who just put his microphone down to pick it back up again. Senora Bombastic, who had a great show this morning. Boom, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Oh, thank you so much. Listen, I have been so amped to do tonight's show. Obviously I start, every Friday morning with Breakfast with Boom. And you know what? The excitement for what we're going to talk about has not gone away. I did an unboxing video of the collector's edition. I gave my opinions about that. And I really can't wait to hear what the panel has to say about Spider-Man.
I can't lie, Boom. You actually had a great show this morning. I caught a good half of it. Shout out to Cognito. And I believe even Dark Goldblum was on today.
Yeah, he was fantastic. We had so much laughs. It was a lot of fun.
No, outstanding. So we'll recommend that, and we'll definitely plug it again at the end because people do need to check out your channel. Love the unboxing too, by the way. Boom.
Thank you.
And then I've got my buddy over in Ireland who's literally just taking Vibrant to stay up with us, Alan Walsh. Alan, how the hell are you tonight?
I'm doing well. I've been busy this week preparing some upcoming stuff for Horizon 4 that I look forward to talking about soon in the not too distant future. But other than that, it's been a great week. It has been.
Alan, in just about 2.5 weeks, the spotlight will be on you for CrossFire. You will have the center stage. You'll be your own Stern show. So I'm looking forward to it, buddy. I really am. And then we've got our special guest who is returning, who we said we would have everybody back after the greatest game of all time did come out. So Shady's back. So Shady, welcome back to the show, buddy. How are you?
I'm damn good, Mooch. Thanks a lot. The speaker of the Sesh Empire is here once again. I'm looking forward to the show. The atmosphere of the game world is fantastic right now. We're coming into that time of year. We got quote-unquote bangers dropping week after week. Can't wait.
Yes, the season is amongst us. And
we've already had one banger drop.
Take it easy now. Easy, Xbot. Be careful. Interpretation of bangers changes as you go down the panel. Okay? Last but certainly not least, the man who can always find a way onto a podcast. It's Dark Goldblum. Welcome to the show, buddy. Good to have you back.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here tonight. Ready to get into these topics. Ready to really talk about Spider-Man. Always glad to be here, man.
Well, I'm actually glad you kind of segued into it, Goldblum. And I know you're a Spider-Man fan. And I even reached out to you earlier today and I said, "Have you been playing it?" You go, "Oh yeah." And I go, "That's great," because I want to get everybody's opinion on this game. Let me start with Crap Gamer. Crap, me and you kind of. You got 6+ hours. I think I have about 3 hours in. I'm going to play a lot more of it this weekend. We both had said one thing. We kind of said, it's good.
Yeah.
Maybe not great.
Yeah, maybe not the great the greatness that everybody was kind of pushing. Like, I'm playing it, and at first I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. They captured it pretty well. He wakes up, there's some kind of pop music playing, and he's like, oh, I got to go do this. And he goes down there, and he's doing his thing. And then I noticed that, there was a lot of the Arkham games But unlike the Arkham games, it wasn't as intuitive, right? I noticed right away is like the dodge, but I was like, and I'm playing it on easy, by the way. So, I'm getting knocked out, because I'm used to playing the Arkham games, and it's like, okay, well, when the little thing pops up, you got to do something else. Like, I'm used to the Arkham games, so that's not really the fault of the game. That's really on me. But the fact that they kind of take a lot from the Arkham game and do it, it was like a lot of the same enemy types, and then the voice acting was atrocious on that first boss that you fight, right?
Yeah,
like horrible, just absolutely horrible. And then you get a little bit past that, and there's puzzles.
Yeah,
there's circuitry puzzles. Yes, there's circuitry puzzles, and then they're like, okay, unscramble the signals, and that's the exact ripoff of the Batman thing where you're messing with the signals.
Yeah,
like I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, WB, are you guys paying attention? They basically took your game and slapped the Spider-Man skin on it. But I will say, it's a beautiful looking game. They did a lot with it.
Yes.
There's actually, it's quite an inhabited city, even though like they got a lot of cars and people, but they all just kind of bump into each other and don't do anything.
Dude, people fall, just like at random, man.
Yeah, and not only do I say that, but the reason why the game lasts probably the play testers 15 to 20 hours, because one mission is at one end, and they make your ass swing all the way to the other end.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah.
I was like, what is the deal with that, right? Like, I guess you could do a subway ride or whatever, but I found it to be quite an average experience, to be honest with you, so far, about 6 hours in or so.
Right.
And, I guess somebody had mentioned that you can actually, through the accessibility options, turn off the puzzles and stuff. I can't imagine somebody that wouldn't want to sit there for an extended period of time doing circuitry puzzles. You know what I mean?
Well, the puzzle, here's my issue with the puzzles crap. And you guys know that BioShock is like one of my all-time favorite games. The BioShock puzzles are very similar to these puzzles, and the BioShock puzzles were actually way more intuitive and way more challenging. These are like and I'm early on, but I don't see them getting too difficult. The thing about what Crap's saying that I thought was interesting too was it's just the Arkham games. I literally said this to a couple people I was talking to today. I now appreciate the Arkham games that much more. It really is. This seems like an easier, more simplified version of the Batman games. That I will say this much: I am having fun, and that, I guess that's really ultimately what it comes down to. That's what really matters here. But I will say that, like, it just, and I'm only 3 hours in. You can't say anything in 3 hours. But then again, there's people who said they beat it in 15.
Well, let me say this as well. I also ran into quite a few bugs, like where he's just levitating above stuff, or you couldn't complete a little easy side part because a person was stuck or whatever, and you had to like restart that little section or whatever. So I've ran into a couple of those as well. And I wanted to point out
I caught at least 3 bugs in my stream of like 2 hours.
Yeah, and I also wanted to point out the fact that when you read a lot of the reviews, a lot of the reviews are like, they do a lot of busy work, but the game's great. I just got to say how great it is, but they could have really done this differently, but still great. I wish they would have done a little bit of this to change it up a little bit, but then I mentioned it, the game's great. It's like people are afraid to really kind of critique anything about the game. Now, if you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan and you just eat, breathe, and sleep Spider-Man, this is probably the best one, although that's not really saying much, because the rest of them have been pretty bad. But I have to say, I'm a little bit let down, and if you're the person in the chat going, of course Crap's going to hate on this game, he hates PlayStation, well, go rate my God of War review, a 10 out of 10, and Detroit 9.5 out of 10. I'm telling you, this game, far from the amazing, amazing Spider-Man game that we were promised. It is kind of what it is. It's what it's what we thought it was. And let's see, Jonathan G. Crap formed his opinion about the game years ago. Let's not be honest, because if that were true, I wouldn't have gave Detroit a 9.5 because I shit on that game before I played it too.
Right.
And then I came back and said it was amazing. So yeah.
Well,
nice try there though, Junior.
Go ahead, Xbox.
Why don't we let me chime in? Somebody
who
is
a big Spider-Man fan.
I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I was excited for this. When I got my PS4, I got it on sale. And the first thing I thought about was this game. So shout out to O-Snaps and the Don who came together to actually get me this game. I really do appreciate it.
Nice.
I do have to say though, in terms of bugs, I saw people sitting at tables that weren't there. On
wow.
on rooftops as well. I do have it on my stream. I stopped.
Do they have
and
the
looked at
Nintendo
it.
Switch?
That's what it was missing the Switch, and that's where I got to take points away because they didn't have the Switch.
Oh, okay.
No East Coast representation of those type of parties or whatnot.
No, they don't have them there.
Failed.
Everybody was saying how great the swinging is. Let's be honest here, people.
I swung into buildings every.
It takes some getting used to.
It does. You have to practice. You literally have to practice.
It is not just like all of a sudden you're swinging through like Spider-Man as a veteran. All right, you're slapping into things and stuff like that. The gameplay, the fighting is really cool. But when it comes down to it, everybody who is trying to put this thing up on a pedestal, I don't see it, guys. And I am a Spider-Man fan.
You're the one defending it and looking forward to the game.
Dude.
Yeah. That's what makes this actual initial review of Xbox means that much more.
It's a good game. It's a good game, but it is
a good game,
far from perfect. Man.
And I gotta be honest with you, I really did. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I told crap this too. I am having a lot of fun playing the game. But the one thing about the mechanic there with the swinging, you know, and it was funny because shout out to JKB. I was talking to JKB. He was reviewed the game a week prior, and he was spot on. I told him, I said, I think everything you said was spot on. He gave it a 9. I said, I don't know if I would give it a 9. We were just talking about it. I still think this thing lays very much in the middle 8s. And you could be.
Dude, I said 84 when we talked about it before. I am sticking by that.
That's fine. I mean, 84, 85, 82, 87. I don't even think 86 is a bit. I don't think those are great scores, by the way.
There were some points in time in this game where I was like, you know what? Sunset Overdrive did this better. You know what I'm saying? When it came to traversing through the world, when it came to running on buildings, and
all you do when you're swinging around, if you just hold in R2, you just, like you say, swing, bang into a building, then you just hold in R2, you can run up the building, you hit X, so when you get to the top, you catapult off, and then you just hold R2 and keep swinging around. And
dude, I'll give you a word of advice, man. You don't even have to do that. You get to the top of a building, you start holding R2 and L2 at the same time, and when you zip forward and you touch something, make sure you have the X button held down already.
Yeah.
And he'll just keep doing it.
It's the catapult. Oh, okay. You keeps doing it after the X. Yeah. That's like the Batman catapult too.
And very similar. It's a quicker way to get around. You're not like slamming into everything. The fighting is really a lot of fun, but we got to also admit it's very loose. There's times where I ducked, underneath somebody's legs, and I wanted to punch the person that was actually behind me after that, and the game didn't pick it up. It went right back to the person I just kind of ducked through and stuff like that. So even if you're swinging the camera around and stuff, it still kind of latches onto that first person you were ducking. So it's still kind of loose in that aspect, but it's still a lot of fun. I think the biggest shining moment is the upgrade system when it comes to the abilities and to the costumes. That is the gem in this.
I just really think that they took the Batman games and then they took that skill tree that you're talking about right now, Xbot, which is really right out of God of War. Because the whole it shows you exactly what it does as you cycle through. Yeah. Like I think they just kind of took them and put them together and voila, and they had these mechanics down from Sunset Overdrive. So a lot of this it just looks like they took bits and pieces of games and put together. Now, a lot of people are listening going, well, it's what a lot of game companies do. Absolutely. But, Boom, let me turn it over to you, Boom. I know you were also a huge fan favorite of this. Where are you today after, I know you've put in several hours. Yeah. Where are you today versus where you were a week or two ago?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm going to have to agree with JKB on this. My overall score is going to stay a 9. And here's why. And you know what? It's not because I went out back and I had my neighbor put in the tattoo on my back for Spider-Man, as to celebrate it. It's the game. Listen, the game is not a 10. I will say that. I will say that immediately. But for me, as a gamer, the kind of games that I like, first of all, the open world is as open as you could possibly imagine. And being Spider-Man and being able to swing out throughout the city, it's for me. It took some getting used to, but I can do it where I'm not hitting buildings anymore. So it's fun. I like the collectathons. Everyone that knows me on the panel knows that I like those Assassin's Creed big open world, the collecting the packs. I like that. The stopping the crimes, jumping on a car, lifting a car off someone that just got into an accident, stopping a bank robbery. I guess it's eventually going to get old. But I'm only 4.5 hours into it.
That's what Jay said to me when I talked to him offline. We were going back and forth, and he said, the things that you start to love in the first 3 hours, the swinging, the Avengers music playing, the helping people, the fighting people randomly here and here. He says it does start to get a bit old when you get to the 10th hour. And I can see that happening. I'm at the 3rd hour, and I'm still very much okay with it. But it's interesting because you take the Arkham games, Boom, okay, where there was the Riddler puzzles.
Yes.
There was like 4,000 of them, which I thought was a bit
a little over the top, for sure, yes.
But then there's these where the puzzles so far are extremely simple. The backpacks, there's only 55 of them. I think I already have like 10. I only played for I'm goofing around, too, and taking pictures and having fun.
Yes.
I'm kind of taking the Greg Miller approach. I watched Greg Miller's take on it. I'm not doing the main missions. I've actually done everything else. I've collected as much stuff and done as many puzzles as possible, trying to open up as many towers as possible. And then I'm going to continue through with the main mission. He recommended it that way. And I said, sure, let me just take a different approach. Because ultimately this game is going to, 15 to 20 hours, is maybe 25 if you're really stressing it. You can do this in a reasonable amount of days. So, what is it you guys think? I want to get Goldblum, and then I want to get Shady and Alan have it.
I just want to throw one more point in there.
No, please.
Okay, what I'm going to say that has always been I can't even say absent because they've had some parts, but what I find to be, what I've read in a lot of reviews and what I've experienced in the little time of playing it, I have to say, I know that the puzzles are like they're not that good, but being the Peter Parker as well as being Spider-Man, I really think that kind of just for me just pushes it a little bit.
That's the thing, though, Boom. I think that's your. See, it depends on
it. If you want to talk about
fandom, that's your fandom from comics, and that's fine.
And you know what?
Like me, I don't mind it, but it definitely doesn't add any points to my scale.
Well, I'm going to say this. Maybe, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're right. I'm still sticking with the 9, but it could be what you're saying, and I see where you're going with it. And you make perfect sense, dude. This is one of those Moochisms that you're. Let me tell you why you're wrong. I can hear it in your head.
You can already hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it. So if we're okay with an 8.5, which I think most people would be okay with, maybe not crap, maybe not someone else. And I hear you. I totally get it. My inner fandom will give it that 5, that half point, giving it to the 9 because of, all of the things you're going to be unlocking. And I do agree with you. The suit unlocking bot, that is just awesome. And
it's beautiful. The gadgets, the ability,
it's great.
Once you unlock all that stuff, you're going to have a blast getting into fights and stuff like that. Right now, it's a lot of fun, but I can see down the line.
That's how long does that last? That's the question.
Exactly.
Pay the bills real quick here. Failed Pyromancer, thank you. Appreciate that very much. It's a great game. Personally, I'm not hyped about it. I'll wait for the price drop, but I agree with the Metacritic score. It's fun. If you like being Spider-Man, though I don't think it gets old. Depends on the person playing. Failed Pyromancer, I can't help but agree with you. That's the thing I've been saying since day one. It's a Spider-Man game. There's nothing new. There's nothing that's coming out of this game. There's nothing that you watch any of the reviews or anyone that does any of their initial thoughts or they do their final reviews where they're like, you know what I didn't see coming? That's not going to happen. It's coming. It's a Spider-Man game, right? Here's the difference. And let me ask the panel this. It's a much more beautiful Spider-Man game.
Dude, the city looks really good.
The city's gorgeous.
But when it comes down to, I didn't see anything that was jaw-dropping to me so far.
There's aspects, Xbot. I know what you mean. There's certain times I look at it and it looks, okay, looks good.
Looks good.
Certain times I take a panorama around and it looks fantastic. So, it depends.
That's the city part of it. They did a really good job of kind of putting in little details to the city and everything like that. It's just that when you take a step back and you look at the whole thing, you're like, yeah, they did pretty good. That's pretty much what the feeling is. Graphically, it's pretty good. That's it.
Well, let's we've all been on the inside. Let's go from the outside looking in. So Shady, you've got a lot to say on this. You've definitely read. I know you've watched reviews. I know you've talked to people all day about it, and you've seen a million posts. You're getting the game. By the way, you're in the honorary Mooch Club. You might want to share with people. You have I don't know if this is your first mooching, but congratulations. But what I'd like to say is, what is your take on it as you will be playing hopefully tomorrow?
It's going to be next week for me by the time it gets sent to me.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's snail mail. It's old school. It'll be a physical
That's
copy.
all right.
But hey, the game will play, and that's fantastic. Fantastic.
A game mooched is a game earned. Go ahead, Shady.
That's
please.
right. I just stumbled across it on Twitter earlier. Someone said that they already have a digital version. They bought themselves the console and have a free physical copy to give away. I pounced on it. My roommate, unfortunately, he broke his hip just over a month ago, and he's a huge Spider-Man fan, and he's the Sony fan of the house here. So that stuff is his, and he had the console on pre-order, and he unfortunately had to cancel that because he's just missed so much work. He couldn't, he couldn't quote unquote swing the cost. So I saw this opportunity and I jumped on it, and within minutes, he said, "No, not a problem. Sounds good." And we exchanged our information, and it's in the mail. So that's fantastic. Awesome.
That's really nice, dude. That's
it's
really nice.
I also thought so.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Like, I'm excited to play the game. I love Batman. I love Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. I love Mad Max. I just love that fight system. So if Spider-Man has really done it well, I'm excited to play that. I really love the swinging around in the Amazing Spider-Man games. Just the dynamic way you would swing into a building, but you wouldn't kind of pancake against it. You would instantly start running along the side and stuff like that. I hope that is translated as well. You guys were talking about the swinging needing, not necessarily needing work, but it needed practice. I'm sitting here looking at an IGN video from just the other day saying how Insomniac perfected swinging. So I'm just wondering, are you guys hating? Maybe
well, let me.
Dude, I got stuck in a fire, like the stairs going down the side of a building.
I took a picture. I got into a fight with a brawl, and I threw a guy against the wall, and his head, like, it didn't go through it because the game wanted it to, but he got stuck in the wall, and his whole body's sticking out, and his head's just in the wall. Don't get me wrong. That didn't take me out of my experience. I actually thought it was hysterical, and I snapped a picture of it. I loved it. I'm going to tweet it out later. But no, because it looks pretty cool. But what I want to get as Xbot is what Shady just said, because I saw that from IGN. What they perfected, in my opinion, is the fluidity of the web slinging. Right? That is really, really, really great right now. You press that R2 button, and when you glide up and then you release at the top, and he does like a somersault flip coming back down. That feels natural. It feels so good. Where Xbot's right and Crap's right is, you're still, and maybe it's a New York thing. There's so many buildings that as you're going or you're trying to make a turn, you just slam into it, and then you just kind of hold R2, and then you're running on it, and then you just like latch on again, and then it's weird. When you have open area, it feels natural, and I feel like when you're in a condensed area, it still feels very I don't know. It just misses the notch a little bit there.
You know what the problem is? Yeah. They use it. It's almost like the bat when he uses his
grappling hook.
Yeah, his grappling gun. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta get, and I get it. That's fine. Like,
it's fine.
I got it down to how it is. It's just for me, it's a little bit more cumbersome because you're just trying to. It's constantly going back and forth.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really, I guess that's part of the game, but it'd be cool if, I don't know. Like, I realize some of the other Spider-Man games, he just swings from nothing, right? And so they made it so he actually swings from something. So I guess they went for a more realistic approach with this one. And you got to be closer to the buildings, and it's got to be a place where it can latch on. So I get it. I get what they were doing.
There was one thing I wanted to bring up about the game, and it's actually not about the game itself. It's about the community around it and the hype that was building up leading up to its release. For me personally, I found that it wasn't people celebrating the game as much as it was people relishing in the fact that there are other gamers that don't get to enjoy it because of their console preference. Right. There was a lot of rubbing it in and a lot of just sore winner syndrome I found out there. And it was, I don't know, it wasn't a good look. If you're excited for the game, be excited for the game. I see no reason to be negative in some aspect about it or to rub it in. And it was happening so much with this title that it was almost turning me off, where if I know that if I got the game and I actually loved it, I almost couldn't even share that enjoyment because I would have some other guy coming at me with the now you know what a real exclusive feels like, something along those lines. And the message to the community is that stuff's got to get toned down. We need to appreciate these things when they come out because it makes the other companies want to do better themselves when they see that everyone's excited. But this negative bullshit out there, it's not doing anyone any favors, and it's not a good look at all. I think it dragged this game down a little bit for me personally, anyways.
Shady. The thing about that is, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and the thing is, we're coming out and we're sharing our honest opinions. Now, I know,
but you're salty or you're damage controlling if you do that, right?
Xbox, so automatically, I'm going to give this a low score. Crap knows, Mooch knows, Optimus knows. Optimus was talking to me in the Xbox Live party yesterday, and he was saying, man, are you going to get the game? And I wasn't sure if I could and all this good stuff, and he knew how excited I was for it because I'm a Spider-Man fan regardless of PS4, Xbox, anything like that. So I am sharing my honest opinions about the game here. There's no damage control or anything like that going on.
The funny thing about that bot is that I was actually trying to get you a copy, a code or something like that, just so you could play it. I was just like, I felt bad, and then you're like, you hit up the stream, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, he's got the game, so
I appreciate that.
Note to self: reach out to Goldblum more. Go ahead. Sorry about that. All right.
I just really noticed, like, when a multi-plat is really hyped and the whole community is excited for it. Let's say Red Dead as an example. You have way less of that negative stuff because there's really no avenue for it, and everyone's just excited to be excited. Whereas as soon as you add that exclusive moniker to some of these games, it just becomes this almost toxic atmosphere of excitement now. And
actually, there's only that's only a one-way street that I've noticed, right? Because Xbox gets games, and I don't see people changing their Twitter profiles to a car. You know what I mean? I don't see. I'm just saying. So realistically, I hear what you're saying, and you're right. But I got to be honest and say most Xbox gamers that I know also have PS4s, whereas these hardcore PlayStation dudes refuse to buy Xboxes, right? And they're the ones that are like, oh, man, we get Spider-Man. You guys are salty. Like, you can't have – and it's so easy to kind of discredit the ones that are like, oh, you're salty. You hate everything Sony. And when I can sit there and go, no, I love Detroit. I gave it a 9.5. I thought God of War was amazing. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Until Dawn, even though I don't like horror games, I think I gave that like a 9 or Ratchet and Clank, a fantastic game. For me, just like I didn't like Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's my opinion, this game, I like it. It's just it's not this great revelation in superhero games that a lot of people were trying to make it out to be. There's a lot of busy work. There's a lot of just little things in there that make it not as fun for me, a little bit boring at times, That's my point. It doesn't make me damaged. I couldn't care less.
Well, can somebody tell me, Crap's got 6.5 hours. Does anybody have more than Crap has?
I think I have about 8, I think, somewhere around there.
Can you tell me
spoilers?
No. This is not a spoiler at all. No. My whole thing, I was just telling somebody in the chat, I don't care about the story. I don't read the Spider-Man comics. I don't care. I like the game for the game. I have fun for the mechanics, and I like the collectible. I do like some of the collectibles. My question for Goldblum is, are there more collectibles? Like right now, I'm opening up towers, and like 2 backpacks show up, and a couple of things and I go grab them in like seconds. I'm like, dude, I hope there's more that pops up. Is there a shit ton more stuff that pops up?
Yeah, there is stuff that pops up, but you have to unlock it through basically doing the story stuff. There are.
All right,
it's kind of like you kind of have to like unlock things, and
maybe that's why Greg Miller gave his opinion. He said you should go and get the backpacks and open everything up. That way, he goes, then you go through the missions, and that way the map is all open. Would you agree with that?
What I'm doing, Mooch. I didn't even.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm going to actually watch his. So I don't like Greg Miller as much as I used to after the Colin Moriarty situation, but I still like Greg Miller. I did not know he did the video, and without even hearing that's exactly what I'm doing, Mooch. I'm going to each tower. It's very reminiscent of, the Assassin's Creed. And that's exactly how I played it. I would go unlock little missions, side missions, backpacks, whatever, gold bars you'd find, whatever in Assassin's Creed. And I'm actually having a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, well, that's the point of it. And I was just telling some guy in the chat who was like, "You don't mind spoilers?" I'm like, "Spoilers in a Spider-Man? Let me guess. Hey guys, Spider-Man wins." I don't really ever think that there's such a thing like when it comes to that kind of like if it's a murder mystery, right? Like if they make Clue the movie part 2, yeah, I don't want someone to tell me that it's Colonel Mustard with the wrench in the fucking study. I don't want to know that.
But it's always Colonel Mustard, right?
It's C-level boss who did it with the D-level crime syndicate with some random guy
with the fourth suit you got.
Yeah, with some random thug, generic 1-800 Rent-A-Thug wearing the same outfits. Yeah, that's who did it, Mooch.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's the whole thing behind it. That doesn't bug me at all. I actually think it's great, to be honest with you. That makes me actually want to see a little bit more about it and play a little bit more. But I'm enjoying. No, like I said, I'm enjoying. Right, I'm enjoying the game. But I want to hear Alan. Alan, what's your take from over there in Ireland? What's going on over there?
He loves the HDR.
The HDR is on fire.
Great HDR show. Great. So what I'll say about Spider-Man is I think the game looks pretty fun, but I'm so swamped right now with other stuff. I'm kind of pushing it to the side. Like it's not like really my kind of game. It's not like a must-have. Like I have 3 games on my list at the moment that are my must-haves for this year. And
well, Alan, let me just back you up a little bit here. So people are coming and go, oh, here's another Xbox guy. Just Alan, we don't just call him the Forza guy because he likes to get all the achievements in Forza. I mean, he's traveled to Turn 10. He's hung out with the head developers, the lead developers, the owners of those businesses. Like he knows all these people. So when Alan says that, he's being 110% genuine. Alan, go ahead.
Yeah, no, because like Spider-Man, I respect it for what it is. I think the game looks fun. I don't think it's the holy grail like it's being made out to be, but I think the game looks pretty fun, and I would like to try it out at some stage. Yes. The 3 games, though, that I'm really, really excited for this year are Horizon 4, Red Dead 2, obviously, and the one that I think might be surprising to the panel, actually Black Ops 4.
Yes!
Wow.
And we're going to get into that. I don't want to get into that quite yet, Alan. I do want to go full circle, though. This is something that we talked about last week, and it kind of just got me thinking. And I think anyone who's a PlayStation guy in the chat, you'll enjoy this conversation. The conversation came up, do you think Spider-Man will beat God of War in sales? I personally, I'm just going to put Mooches out there, and then I want to hear what you guys got to say. I'm almost wanting to go back and play God of War again. I think God of War sales are going to beat Spider-Man's. Now, apparently, I can't believe after I say that, that's the greatest game of all time. I mean, you know, they say you were just a twinkle in your dad's eye. That wasn't a twinkle. That was a throwable axe in your dad's eye. Right? So my whole thing is like, I think God of War is
I think that's
amazing.
That's what Spider-Man's missing, a throwable axe with Loki as his son. I could see that as being the next
Loki as his son.
The next evolution of
crap,
Spider-Man.
who do you think is going to sell
follow
more?
that blueprint, man.
Do you think Spider-Man will beat God of War in sales?
No.
I think Spider-Man.
No.
You know what? It might.
So.
You know what? Here's the thing: Spider-Man is not rated M. You know, so I do think that God of War, while had great initial sales, I think those have definitely leveled off. And I think Spider-Man's gonna, you know, we're in that day and age where Marvel, everything does well, you know. And I just think that, you know, kids are gonna play this game, and you know, and I think that's gonna help it out tremendously. I think this was, at the end of the day, this is gonna be Insomniac Games' greatest sales success.
Absolutely.
So, in fact, it's probably gonna sell more than Resistance 1, 2, and 3, Sunset Overdrive, Ratchet and Clank combined.
It's hard to say that, but I guess I would agree with it.
Sunset Overdrive probably sold 1 million, 1.5 million.
1.5
Ratchet
probably.
And Clank sold a couple million. Those Resistance games didn't sell shit.
Yeah, they didn't sell very well.
Like I could easily see this beating all those. You know, it's gonna be huge for them, and rightfully they did a good job on it.
Yeah,
you know, like they really did. You could tell that they used a lot of what they learned from Sunset Overdrive, you know, with the city and stuff like that. And I think that helped them out with it. You know, they did an original story, but you could tell that they also borrowed a lot from like some of the movies and some of the comics.
Dude,
and stuff
Doc
like that, which is cool.
Doc Ock, without looking like the actor who played him in the movie, kind of looks like the actor who played him
that's
in the
like
movie,
the guy,
you know what I'm saying?
the guy doing the J. Jonah Jameson voice tried to sound like the guy from
he did. From the movies, the Tobey Maguire ones. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't blame them there.
No, that
That's-
was
I
a
don't
cool
either,
part
'cause
of it,
he
though,
was he
man.
was awesome in those. You know,
he
what I
was
mean?
great, and that's the mental
Yeah.
image I have of that character,
Yeah,
and that's the
exactly.
sound, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, that I found was great. What you know? So Shady, what do you think about this? I mean, have you played God of War?
I have played God of War. It was
God
it
of
was
Greatness.
master- Yeah,
God
absolute-
of Greatness, yes.
absolute masterpiece. I will say that was the first Sony game that I played in well over a decade that I thought just nailed everything. It played tight and looked insane. Good
Yes.
story. I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
No,
it
I
was
can't
amazing.
help but agree with you there. Do you think that Spider-Man has the legs? Pardon the pun. To I didn't even plan. I didn't even write that one down. To beat God of War in sales. I again don't think so.
I think he certainly has the name recognition globally to
Yes.
outshine God of War for sure. But when you can't slap big 95s and 10 out of 10s on your advertising
Even
everywhere,
a 10 out of 10 on a crap gamer, by the way.
it was like as good as God of War was. You heard about how good it was so much, whereas
Yes.
people are just like Spider-Man's good, it's great. It also just came out. It is that honeymoon period where everyone is like madly in love, and then later
Right.
on you get the more honest opinions. Not saying that it won't still be great, but you will see. So I think it has the potential to do it, really, but I'm not too sure if it will. I mean, God of War sold a bucket load of copies. My God, I think it could. I really do. One thing I do want to know is if this game does sell huge. Spider-Man, as far as video games are concerned, is controlled by Disney. I have a theory that by making it exclusive this time, it brought huge attention to the title. The last Spider-Man game that launched, no one gave a damn about it. I think its Metacritic is in the low 60s at best. Like, it was just slept on. So now that all this attention came on, they got a quality studio in Insomniac, which is a third-party studio, to make the game and bring all this popularity back to the Spider-Man video games.
Yes.
I think the sequel is going to be multi-plat, because Disney is going, hey, it's selling a lot on one system. How much will it sell on PC and Xbox and maybe even Nintendo if they can swing it?
Here's the problem with that, though. Sony actually owns Spider-Man.
They own Spider-Man in the movies. That's it.
Yeah, but they
Like, if Disney doesn't want to make toys or bed sheets or posters for the movies, the Spider-Man movies, there's nothing.
Correct.
They're relying on
problem-
Disney for all of that. And Disney owns Spider-Man in video games as well, which is why Activision was doing it for so long and not Sony.
But they
themselves.
lost the rights back to Sony, though, is the problem. Like, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man video games right now.
I don't think so.
No, like it's true, man. They own the rights to the Spider-Man video games, and that's going to be a hard thing for them to come back, because you don't think that Marvel would have wanted to get more money by having it be multiplat. I think they would.
I think the reason that it went exclusive this time is because Spider-Man in video games was literally bottom of the barrel superhero games. They were garbage and no one cared about them at all. They weren't doing sales. They weren't getting ratings. No one cared. So by giving it exclusive to Sony especially, it brought so much attention to Spider-Man in a video game form again. And because it was actually done well this time, as opposed to haphazard Activision style, I think it's elevated that franchise again. And I'm still convinced that Disney owns Spider-Man in video games, and they're going to push to sell it anywhere they can because all eyes are on it again.
Okay, well that's it. That's not a bad point. Now I do want to hear Boombastic.
Yes, sir.
Signore himself. What do you think? God of War, which I know you have a God of War console. I have the Spider-Man console.
Right.
I think most would probably line up behind me in aesthetics.
Yes, I agree.
Sorry about that, Boom. Last minute chat. But what do you think? God of War, Spider-Man sales 2018. Who wins it?
You know what, dude? I'm gonna say Spider-Man, and here's why.
Wow.
Here's the thing. Ant-Man and the Wasp just came out. Obviously Infinity Gauntlet just came out.
Yes.
The MCU is hot. Spider-Man is in the comics is going through a lot of stuff. So it's a hot commodity.
I actually felt like Peter Parker, Boom, when when it did that and the Marvel thing comes up in the beginning of Spider-Man. When it did that, my arm hair went up, but it wasn't a Spidey sense. Here's the thing. That still sells. That gets people goosebumps. People like that Marvel. They love it. They feel like they're part of this universe. And the one thing that they did very well in this video game, Boom, that maybe is why you might win. You guys are all saying Spider-Man might tip the scale that way. Is there is a feeling, an esque, if you will, that you do feel like you're flying through New York in this game. They've really kind of captured, like I said, when you have that free-floating Spider-Man where he does the somersault in midair and then grab on again and fly again. When we first saw that scene when Tobey Maguire did the first one, that was when we were like, holy shit, this is a real deal.
Yep.
This is a real deal action movie. What do you think? So, Boom, you're definitely going Spider-Man.
I'm going to go Spider-Man, and I'm going to tell you, there's also a very, very untalked about contributing factor here.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man game can be played and will be purchased by everyone, especially for kids, whereas God of War, it's a mature game.
That's a bigger. I think people on the panel are making that a bigger issue. I worked at GameStop when Grand Theft Auto came out, and there was plenty of parents coming up with their kids, and I'm like,
I don't buy the whole kid thing.
Hey, I want to go back to something real quick because ever the humble person when I'm wrong. Spider-Man license owned by PlayStation's parent company Sony, but Disney does own the rights. Marvel Games owns the rights to Spider-Man, the video game character.
Thanks, Johnny P. That's humble.
Yeah, exactly. So according to this, on Screen Rant, that's what basically happened. So belong to Marvel Games, a division of Marvel Entertainment, which is why you could see Spider-Man in the upcoming Avengers game. Yeah, you could see him in that.
Yes.
Would that I don't know, maybe this has something to do, this exclusivity could have something to do with the fact that they loaned Marvel the Spider-Man character for the movies.
I thought so as well with that.
Yeah, it could, but because I know for a fact that Sony actually keeps all the money from the Spider-Man movies.
Every dime.
Yeah, so they got a really sweet, but then again, their movies were really horrible, except for the first two Tobey Maguire ones. But so that's interesting to think about that. If there was a sequel, it could be on Xbox.
Mooch, I really want this question. Please tell me you're coming to me about this Spider-Man God of War thing.
Of course, Xbox. Hit it up. Look, you had a great lead-in with the whole, GameSpot.
Dude, I could not wait for this show tonight. Here's the deal. God of War, you guys know I am not a fan of that title. I feel that Spider-Man does not deserve any status above that title, though. I feel at the end of the day, I love Spider-Man, but when it comes to this game, it's a good game. All right. If you see what everybody is saying that has played God of War, they're putting it up there on that high pedestal and all that good stuff. I can't really say anything about that because I haven't played that game. The gameplay I saw, it just wasn't for me. I'm more interested to say that, like, down the line, when it comes to kind of like a legend type status, I feel like this God of War will go down in infamy as like one of those great games of this generation. I feel that Spider-Man won't. It'll just be kind of thrown in the pot there with a bunch of other really good games. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And I'm going to play through it. I'm going to enjoy it. But I don't think it's fair to the other games out there, other quality of games, even like Gears 4 and stuff like that. Those quality of games, Gears 4, God of War, it would do them a disservice to put this game above them. How about
Horizon Zero Dawn? HZD there. Horizon Zero Dawn. What do you think?
See, to me, Horizon was a bunch of eye candy at that point in time. We've gotten used to those graphics by now, but when it first came out, it was a bunch of eye candy. And to me, the story was boring. I could not get into it. When I first played it, I was like, wow, this looks gorgeous.
Does that mean you think Spider-Man is a better game?
It's better
through time than that? Okay.
To me personally, it's better than Horizon because I'm already I'm enjoying it more. I'm looking forward, to get to more of the story. I want to see little like quirks that kind of go to reference back to the comic books and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's just a good game. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like your pitch there. I really do think that that's the sentiment here. I think that it is a very good game. But here's the thing that Insomniac and Sony, and I don't know if it's Insomniac that came up with the idea. I don't know if it's Sony that came up with the idea and pushed it on them. Whoever did it is true genius. I always say, always give credit when it is due, not when it's not. And I will say this much, and I know a lot of you guys may not think this is a big deal, but photo mode is fun in this game.
It really does,
and it advertises the crap, right?
Yeah. Like if you look at, they do a good job with the photo mode stuff. Honestly, what game wouldn't benefit from a photo mode? And they did a good job with the little animate, like the little words and stuff.
Yeah.
That come up, and you can do kind of stuff like that. It makes it
like
fun.
a comic. You make a
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you guys know why photo mode is good with Spider-Man, right? Because
he's a comic
books
book.
are basically pictures. So like it's there's something subconscious there that kind of just.
But you know, this kind of, and I'm not trying to segue. I don't want to leave the Spider-Man thing quite yet. We have a couple other things to talk about. But I mean, like the thing about it is me and Crap are going back and forth for the past week or two, being like, and I understand why they came out with the presser, why we've heard these things. They haven't really come out with the presser, but like Upload Studio 2 still is in advance, right? And it's like photo mode. You now have everybody. We're sitting here talking about Spider-Man rivaling God of War for sales. Each of these people is now a media outlet for you because everybody's tweeting out pictures. I even tweeted out 2 or 3. I mean, like, you don't understand. These are the things that people do nowadays. And Microsoft not having an Upload Studio that people can actually utilize, not taking these types of games, their first party and having crazy photo. How crazy would it be to have awesome photo mode in Halo Master Chief Collection? Put it in there. Why not put it in there?
Do it in a game that's been you know what I mean? Like those are best done with games that are newer, like ones that you build, I guess. And so I don't know how easy.
Halo 5 or Gears 4. I don't. You pick a game. I don't.
I think going
Gears
forward,
5 won't have
some. I think that
Gears 5 won't have it, but they should, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, like all games should. But then again, Microsoft made it extremely difficult to share anything. You know?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Good point.
It's actually worth saying that Microsoft were one of the first companies to actually implement photo modes into their games because Forza games since early 360.
And then you had to go to the website and download the thing. And
so you could Crap. You did a video on it today where you said how Microsoft keeps getting slapped on their. They do a lot of things before everybody else, but they do them before people actually want to accept them. Then somebody else comes out with a cool little gimmick. They do it and it catches fire.
Hey, that's like hey, now voice commands and stuff for your console or the.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, you even did a video. I think Boom did something on it too. I'm not they're like, now you can use Alexa, and everyone's like, I want an Alexa to take care of my Xbox. I'm like, we had to connect. You guys all
the fact that Alexa doesn't work nearly as good as Connect. No, not even close.
So you don't want the Connect, but you want the Alexa? I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like I say, it's always something. I don't get. When I saw that, I thought people were gonna boo and hiss it. Instead, people would glory applause. Go ahead.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. I'm still happily using my Connect, and I have no plans to change it to an Alexa.
Good job, Alan. Here you go.
I still have my Connect too.
I have mine, but it's not hooked up anymore because, frankly,
Hook it up.
I like that.
I've already got my 3rd date tonight with Alexa myself. Woo!
Nice work, dude. But what do you guys think? I mean, I mean, Boom. I haven't seen you tweet out too many pictures yet, but are you using the new photo mode?
I've used a couple. I haven't tweeted out because, like I said, I got it late last night. It took me an hour to install it. And I played 2 hours last night. I played about 2 hours. And then, of course, with all the show and the unboxing, I really didn't get a chance to play.
Okay, well, look, everyone's looking forward to it. I want to kind of switch over. I mean, here we are almost an hour into Spider-Man. And Rock Dog will probably
Greatness! You mind if I speak on Spider-Man, though?
Of course, Boom. Dark Boom. Yes, of course.
Because I didn't get the chance to.
Oh, that's fine. I apologize. Yes, please
do. To be honest, I was at a 90 when I was on the show the last time.
Yes.
And I thought, it was going to be. I thought it was going to be at that. I was wrong. It's definitely not a 90. I would have to probably say it's more of an 80.
84. Come on, man. Just say it. I was right on the button with it.
80. I'll give it an 80, and here's why. Because there are things about it, like the combat is a little bit tiresome to get used to. You can't really it's just it's kind of hard, and I think it's hard to an extent where it doesn't need to be, and that's the problem that I'm having with it. And I'm playing it on the normal difficulty, not easy. You're
finding it difficult.
Was it the fighting or the swinging, both?
No, swinging came very natural. got into it, and
We
it
all
was
know
fine.
Goldblum. He's a swinger, man. We know
It's
this.
true.
Yeah,
It's true. I just I got so comfortable with the swinging that it's no big deal. The combat, on the other hand, was just so like it's not difficult to do it. It's the enemies that are like, they do something and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Because you don't understand like why you got killed there, because like, I mean, yeah, technically it is your fault. Like, I mean, in every game, and that's how it is with combat. Like, it's your fault. But at the same time, I was like, I literally didn't understand why I was dying so much in the beginning, but now, of course, I'm getting used to it.
I feel better now.
Probably because they're like, oh, here comes the shield guys, just like in Batman, and you got to do the little funky move, just like in Batman.
Exactly.
And there's the brutes, just like in Batman, and they all look the same, just like in Batman. And you got to do the little funky move on them, just like in Batman. You know what I mean? It's like, and they throw so many things at you, right? Like, now press this button and this button to do this. Now do this and this super this, right? It was like ridiculous. Like, come on. And I want to get in there, punch, kick, swing to the left, swing to the right, get through the game, finish it up.
I'll be honest with you. I gotta say that
when I started to.
Go ahead.
Well, what I started to do when I got to more of the story stuff was doing more of like basically Batman stuff, where he would just sneak around and and take out guys, in the air, like just doing aerial attacks and stuff. And it just like it feels great to do that. I also am gonna downgrade it because of the fact that it's a little it's graphically it looks great, but it's a little repetitive. There are a lot of things that I'm like, okay, well, they could have really done something cool with this. They could have done something cool with the backpacks instead of like what it does now. It kind of like it gives you like a little background to it. I feel like they could have really done something with that. And it's probably just because I'm spoiled with The Witcher 3 content and stuff like that I'm just kind of like harder on games like this.
Well, Goldblum, check this out. I gotta ask you this, man, because maybe you can explain this to me. When a crime is going down, regular criminals in the city, I thought Spider-Man had super strength along with his agility and everything, which is why he can like mess up other superheroes. Can you tell me why, like the big kind of like thug guys that have no superpowers, we have to web them up first before punching them even does anything to them? That makes no sense to me as a Spider-Man fan.
He can't control his powers that minutely. He might actually punch a hole through the guy, and he doesn't want to blatantly murder people. Just kick 1,000 of them off of skyscrapers.
No, well, that's the thing with that is that it's not. That's the problem with it, is that it's these guys who are like, they're bigger dudes. They're probably more like around like crap size.
They're brutes. That's what they're called.
Yeah, they're brutes.
And the brutes, and then there's guys with shields too. And you got to do the little double button swabby dob that you slide under them and do the little move. It's like they had a guy sitting in there playing Arkham, and they go, "Hey, buddy. So what do we do here? What we got to do is have these guys with the shields because it works so well in there, and then we also need these." I just
want to say something real quick to the chat. Wolf, I have Spider-Man as well. I'm just saying.
Everybody has Spider-Man.
I mean, we all have Spider-Man except for Shady. Shady's getting it soon, and then
and he'll love it. He'll think it's great.
But that's the thing. Like to sit there and say that it's better than God of War. Hell no.
No,
God of War. God of War
not even better than Detroit. Get out of
here. Detroit was probably one of my favorite PlayStation games of this generation.
Exactly.
Like that game
Detroit
is so good,
amazing. Yeah.
I just want
to think about it though. A lot of people in the chat are not understanding. Like and shout out to Von Lamont. Von, my whole thing is this, and what he's saying with repetitiveness is that, first of all, you have to enjoy every game's repetitive. Okay, let's just put that out there. You have to enjoy the repetitive nature of the game. If that's something you dig, like people, they always crash on me because of Destiny, right? Destiny is extremely repetitive, but I like it so much. The repetitive motion that I'm doing is very rewarding to me over and over again. The one thing that I said, okay, with, you know, swing to the left, swing to the right, is the whole thing that, like, Spider-Man games become repetitive quite quickly. And I think that's what you're hearing from some of the people here. And I'm only, 3 hours in, 3.5 hours in? I don't know. Not very far. So I want to that's why I said initial thoughts. It's not a review. I'm not saying this is how I truly feel at the end of the day. But realistically, the game has already gotten me, like, I'm swinging to go get a backpack or open up a new tower. And then out of nowhere, you know, it's just like, okay, we got a report on 3rd and 47th that we got a breaker. We got a kidnapping going on. And I'm like, I go down there, I do that. The minute I go back up to chase a book bag, I get the book bag. I hear that, I picked up like a pizza hat. I picked up, like when I was a pizza man, like, oh, this reminds me of my pizza days. And then all of a sudden it's like, breaker. We got a car speeding through, heading over to a bank robbery. And I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. So I'm going to do this a lot. And I mean, Vaughn, this is not, it's not hating though. You know what I mean? Goldblum, it's not. It's really just, it's an observation that you really got to like doing very small, meaningless tasks early on. Yeah. And if you don't dig that, that may rub a gamer the wrong way. I don't know. That's all I'm saying from my point of view.
Not every game loop is for everybody. Like, right. Me, the game loop of Far Cry, where I'm going out in the forest, I'm killing animals, I'm getting their skins, I'm upgrading my stuff.
Is that your bag?
Right. That is my bag. Like, I avoid the story. I just go out in the forest and I murder people and animals. That's what I do. I love it. I end up on like mission 3 and I'm fully maxed out character because I've done all the side stuff. None of the story stuff. So for me, I love Far Cry because of that 30-second, minute-long game loop. I think if the dev can nail that game loop, you have a hit. That's what most games are. It's just 30 seconds to a minute of gameplay. Shout out to the finest.
Shout out to the finest in the chat. He says, Mooch, that Batman was the same. Here's the thing. Absolutely the finest. I cannot argue with that. And first of all, I'm not the largest Batman fan of all time either.
You didn't even finish Arkham Knight.
Not Knight. I finished City.
Yeah.
I didn't finish Knight because Knight, I was just like, that damn Batmobile. But anyway, my whole thing about it is like, he's right. He's 100% right. I thought the mechanics, the fighting mechanics in the Arkham series seem, early on here in Spider-Man, the Batman mechanics seemed a little bit more crisp than the Spider-Man mechanics. And that doesn't, they're not bad in Spider-Man, but they're not. I don't feel like they're as crisp as the Batman mechanics. And I can see where anyone can make a case in either direction. And real quick, I do want to get the panel's thoughts here. But Sir X-Man, shout out to him. He says, why is it no one is talking about Tomb Raider? It comes out on Friday. Sir X-Man, we are definitely going to be talking about Tomb Raider on tonight's show. Probably very, very soon. That's a great segue. But does anybody want to? I don't want to steal the mic or the floor. Go ahead.
One more thing about Spider-Man is the fact that, you know, with those, like, you know, breaker, you know, those type of, you know, like police calling thing, there's only like 5 per district. Like, you don't get very many of those, like, in the district. So like it's kind of like, okay, well, I can go and do those, and then you do them, and then you're done. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do any more. You don't get any more police scanners for that district. So it's kind of like it kind of takes you out of the game a little bit when it does that, because like I would rather have it where like the police come on the radio every so once in a while, mm-hmm. and tell you to go to this spot, or, you know, there's a spot here where there's a crime going on, and it doesn't do that. They're fairly quickly, like you'll get through those like 5 little crime tokens or whatever within a matter of minutes. Like, it's not even like, and that's the thing with the collecting and the collectibles, is that it's so quick that it's like it's almost like, okay, you know, I might as well just do it because I can get it within a matter of minutes.
Yeah. No,
While you're talking there, Goldblum, it sounded like you knocked off 10 points of the review because you were struggling with the combat yourself. Is that true? Like, that's what it was?
That and the repetitiveness. Like,
okay.
It's still repetitive. Like, there are moments where I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, I gotta go and do this. Even though it's quick, it's still like, okay.
Hey, let me also mention this, right? I get what you're saying because I feel the same way, Goldblum. So high five for that. What he's saying is like, yeah, all games are repetitive, same, but different, but still the same, right? But here's what he's saying, right? So in a normal game, right, a Gears or a Call of Duty, you're shooting, you're doing this, following Captain Stu Nuts or whatever. In this, it's like you fight a gaggle of masked men, and then you swing to the other thing, and then you fight that gaggle of masked men, and then you swing to the, and it gets like even more repetitive because it's happening so fast. so it's not as structured as say a Call of Duty, or you know what I'm saying, or some of those kind of things. Like, so I get 100% what you're saying, and you're not the only one, because I was sharing somebody's tweet earlier with Mooch, and this person was like, I'm enjoying Spider-Man. I think the combat could have used some more refining. It feels sluggish. And then finished up with still having fun with it though, Hart, because people are afraid to say what we're all saying. Right?
Well, that's the thing. They're thinking that an 8 is a bad score. Like, I'm not giving it a bad score. I'm giving it an 8, and that's my opinion. And that's how I feel about it.
That's right.
If you can't respect that, then maybe you shouldn't listen to the podcast.
I was just gonna say, while everyone's entitled to their opinion, my opinion is I've never been a fan of people taking score down because they can't master the game mechanics. Whereas like a lot of the community can. Like, I'm reading in the chat, I've read a lot of other people don't have problems with the fighting. So like, it does sound like a you problem. And I don't like when scores really get knocked down because someone can't get it. It's like, I don't like Call of Duty because I get headshot all the time by snipers. It's like, well, don't get headshot all the time. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, I just never been a fan of that. And same with the argument of it's repetitive, because like you guys have said, all games are repetitive. But if you nail that loop, and that loop is for you, that repetitiveness is pure gold.
Yes,
like when I play Batman,
but that's the thing.
I just stalk the streets and just fight thug after thug for hours. I don't do the story. I just role play as Batman, destroying thugs in the streets and flying around for hours. So what you guys are saying to me sounds like it's right up my alley. It's in my bag.
It could go up. I mean, it could go up. I'm not even like, even that much into the game yet. It's just the first day.
Tomorrow you might be good at it, and it's back up to a 9 for you.
Right. Maybe? I mean, that's the thing. Like, in the beginning, the combat became that. I mean, now I'm kind of like at the point where I'm like actually grasping it in a way where what I have to do, and like maybe it was just because it was late at night and like I wasn't like really paying attention.
Once you get your new suit, then it becomes a lot smoother.
It does. No, you're right. Exactly.
I mean, like it sounds like you kind of maybe gave the number too early, to be honest, to me.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, but it's still at that 80. It's still at that 8 for me.
It's hovering okay.
I still feel like it's gonna stay there because of the fact that I still enjoy the game. And I'm still gonna be playing it, and I'm still probably gonna, say that it's a good game and that it's it's definitely worth playing and it's definitely worth buying. I just think that. For me personally, it's not God of War status or Detroit.
Oh, it's not even close. Not even close. And it's not really, because look, Shady hasn't played it yet. When he plays it, he might think the same thing. And I've heard other people say that the combat's clunky. It's not as fluid as Arkham. It's just not.
One thing I was
there's a lot of games.
The fighting in Spider-Man looks way more cinematic. While you're doing like everything, he's doing the slow-mo head takedowns with his legs and everything. Like, does that get old? Is he doing the same head scissor takedown?
No, so Shady, there's something in this game that kind of bothers me. Like, you're supposed to use both triggers to zip up to a corner or something like that. You're talking about slow-mo. If you hold down those triggers, all of a sudden everything goes into slow-mo, even if like you're not planning on it. There's something with the button mapping that doesn't feel it's something you got to get used to. All right. But at the end of the day, like I said, I feel like the fighting, even though it's loose, is still quality. When I'm grading this whole thing, and we did put our numbers out there kind of like in a prediction status like weeks ago. I look at the immersion, I look at the technical aspects, and I look at the gameplay. I look at like, how much am I going to really want to go back in and play it? And on that stance, I mean, I gave an 84, and I'm going to stay right there because an 84 is still a really
great, man. That's great.
A good game, man.
It is, man. I think it's all good, man. Nobody here has actually said it's a bad game. So
yeah, the one thing I want to just put out there, because everyone, I don't know how. I mean, and Goldblum's completely entitled to his opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll just say I'm going to be playing this game through twice. I believe I have to actually, because I'm going to try and platinum the game. And to be honest with you,
Jesus, why?
Well, crap. I don't think it's that hard to platinum.
It's not,
to be honest.
I looked at the trophies. It's not hard at all.
It's not hard. That's right. I looked at them. Crap, it's really not. But
I didn't look at them. I don't remember.
But I don't think. I think the fighting mechanic is. I think the game is actually easy. I don't find the game to be difficult. I think some of the fighting mechanics are wonky, but I don't think that I don't think it's like hard. But Goldblum, that's not saying that your experience is wrong. It's not. I'm just saying that, like, for myself personally, I tried it I usually do normal, then I go to hard. So I was like, you know what? Especially with right now, we've got, like, and I do want to segue over to it. We have Shadow of the Tomb Raider coming out on Friday. I wanted to get through this for sure so I could talk about it with everybody. So I'm doing it on normal, and then I'm going to play it on the hard mode afterwards. And I'll be honest with you, I don't find I'm kind of pissed. I don't want to lose the 3.5 hours I got right now into it. But I kind of want to switch the difficulty over to hard. I don't know if I can do that. Can I do that in mid-game? I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, you can actually.
Because
it's way better on hard, Mooch.
Yeah, I'm flying through it on normal, and I'm like, this is not that hard. I kind of want to. I would enjoy a good challenge on this. But that being said, let's move on if you guys don't mind, because Spider-Man will probably even be brought up again next week to talk about reviews. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is coming up, and I'm going through Rise of the Tomb Raider. And I'll be honest with you, I'm excited for Shadow, but I don't, we're in the tail end of this generation, and I'm kind of getting tired of when there's even speculation, whether it be Spider-Man or Shadow, when we're all sitting here talking about, like, downgrades from E3, that's one discussion. But when clips start coming out 2 weeks, 3 weeks before, and there's questions, that's what starts to bother me. And me and Crap had a discussion, and it's kind of like that Seinfeld episode, right? Where it depends on the lighting, on how the person looked, Crap. Like, sometimes you look at this game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and it looks marvelous.
Yep.
And then sometimes you look at a clip, and it looks like a 360 game that's been, like, brought up to 4K. And I'm like, like, the water effects don't look great. Sometimes the facial textures don't look great. But then the environment and the fire and the lighting and the crackling and the smoke, it looks great. So where are you guys right now on the panel as far as Shadow goes? It's coming out in 7 days.
Oh, man, I'm looking forward to it. I want to finish off that trilogy strong.
Yes.
It's like there was a little bit of that wonky PC footage or whatever, but overall, I'm liking what I saw. It looks amazing on the X, and I really want to finish out. Like, I started and went back through the ending of Rise of the Tomb Raider so that I could prepare for this one. And I'm very excited for it. This reboot has been fantastic.
Yep.
One of the things, and I'll say this, that really kept me out of the original Tomb Raider games was the difficulty level of the tombs. Like, I hate puzzles, right? So they make them. I hate puzzles. I don't like puzzles. So they make it much easier. A lot of the tombs are optional. I don't even bother with them. I can just get through the game. I want to experience the story and that kind of stuff. I want to see where this plays out. That's what I'm excited about. This one looks insane. I'm super excited for it. I'm absolutely, already preloaded.
Well, let me tell you something. Go ahead, Xbox. Go ahead.
When it comes to the Tomb Raider games, this is something that you got to realize. Even the definitive edition to Rise, when it comes to the water, they never did a great job with the water anyway. All right. So what you're saying about the water is something that we've already seen in past 2 iterations. Now, what they are good at is the lighting and the atmosphere going through jungles, wooded areas, stuff like that. Looks absolutely amazing. And at the end of the day, we got to remember, we were just talking about Spider-Man, and the key thing that we were talking about was gameplay, fighting mechanics, and stuff like that. When it comes down to it, there's more than just graphics when it comes to a video game for it to be enjoyable, possibly highly rated, possibly sell well. There's more than just graphics. And I feel like this generation, everybody has just been so focused on what the game looks like. And that's what makes it good. And are the P's higher? That's what makes it good. And we got to go back and really get back into gameplay mechanics, combat, immersion, and stuff like that to really show the quality of a game, man.
That's a good point, Xbox.
If you call gameplay mechanics good a muffin, I call great graphics the icing. Let's make this bitch a cupcake, which is way better. I mean, I enjoy a good game, even if it doesn't have the best graphics, if it's good. But when the graphics are just eye melting. It ups it all, and I think
definitely. But Shady,
because the graphics today are so good, I think that's one of the reasons that we're starting to see a bigger focus on everyone being like, "Wow!" Like you are truly wowed by these graphics. You have to use less and less of your imagination these days. If you have a non-gamer walking in, they're blown away as to what you're playing. Whereas back in the day, in the SNES days or the NES days, you had to like spell out what you were doing because they walked in and saw a couple polygons on screen and they just didn't get it.
Dude, I definitely get it, but let's be real here. This generation, you talk about it's the icing on the cupcake. It's like the fat kid at home just got a hold of the whole icing, and that's all he talks about right now. And he's just going to get a stomach ache at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, there is a section that is kind of focusing a little too much on that. Whereas
it's a pretty big section, man.
It is, but I mean, like when it comes to Tomb Raider, I think the game looks insane, but with that insane looking graphics, because the animations are old, they really, really stand out now. It's almost like you're looking at quasi photorealistic imagery that walks around like a stiff robot. It's like the better these graphics get, when there's like bugs and glitches and stuff, it's going to become nightmare fuel because it's like watching a real life movie and all of a sudden the guy's face disappears or melts off. Like it's going to get weirder and weirder the better these games look. And I think that's why this game is getting some of the guff it is because visually in standstill pics, it looks insane. But then when you start to watch it move around, all of a sudden you get this little bit of jank that is kind of like, wait a minute, is this a 360 title just prettied up? And I kind of almost think it is. That's unfortunate.
Well, here's the problem, and I mean, listen, Shady, I want to kind of like piggyback on that conversation. Sir X-Man says, crap, I play all my Tomb Raiders on hardcore. Shout out to Sir X-Man. But right? But the thing about the good thing about it, though, Shady, you make a good point here because, crap, we talked about this on Xbox Nation. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, yes, I know they're getting assistance, but it's not being made by Crystal Dynamics. And to be honest with you, why? They're assisting, but it's not the same.
You know why? Because the other team is on the Avengers project.
Right. But boom, that's not a good. But boom, why don't they let these? This is what I'm saying. We are in a situation right now where, listen to all of us. I got to hurry up and get done with Spider-Man so I can hurry up and get done with this. Then I got to hurry up and get done with this so I can get done. Calm down, everybody in the gaming world. Take a year off. Take 2 years off. Take another 3 years off. Like, let Shadow of the Tomb Raider be made by its maker. Listen, crap, of all people, you have to agree with me here. Look at how, like you said yourself, the latest Star Wars movie absolutely, like, ruined a lot for you and your fandom.
That was the pre-latest Star Wars, because it was so bad. Last Jedi was so bad, I didn't even bother to see
it. You didn't even go see Solo.
And Solo was good.
Wouldn't you have rather you waited and got the director that you wanted instead of, like, that's what I'm saying. The developer, the director, why are they rushing these games so fast?
We'll have to see. I think it's gonna be
I
good.
think it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. They have the template laid out, but realistically, it does come down to, like, and that's what me and the Don, shout out to the Don.
Kiss that ring. He wins every single video play.
I mean,
man.
But like, that's why it was such a big deal when I found out, like, the art director, the lead art director was going over to 343. Like, when you take Crystal Dynamics and you take their art director and all these guys that made the game look so beautiful and Rise, and now all of a sudden that guy's working on something else, and they're like, well, we're going to help you out, but you use your own artist. Like, I don't want to use this. Their artist could be like one of those sidewalk guys that makes 3D puzzles. Go ahead, Boom.
I want to pose a question to you because I kind of see where you're going, and I'm going to throw this out there. The Arkham games that are extremely revered, obviously, was the first 3 were done by Rocksteady, but there was one that wasn't, which was Origins. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people gave that game shit. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic top to bottom.
Yeah. The main problem people hated on that was because it had a couple of bad glitches with the fast travel.
Yeah,
your game would lock up on you, and then also the voice actors were different.
Yes,
So naturally, that's going to get It's like when Sony's new studio, who was built strictly to make Uncharted games, when they make their first Uncharted game, it's going to be reviewed harsher because it's not Naughty Dog.
Yeah,
right. Just like the Coalition's first Gears was reviewed harsher because they weren't Epic. Just like 343's Halos were reviewed harsher because they aren't Bungie. Right. That's just how it goes. So yeah, it's going to be, I'm sure people are going to probably review this one a little bit harsher. The problem is I think that a good portion of Crystal Dynamics was there to help out. They even said that they were there. So, I'm really looking forward to the game. I'm hoping that it's like I said, the last 2 were my game of the years. So this one really should be up there for me personally. Like,
Mooch, I got a question. I got a question real quick. You answered my question, but this is a good one. What if people on the panel and people in the in the chat, if you haven't finished playing Spider-Man, are you going to put it down to play Tomb Raider? And here's my answer. You're damn right I am, because I'm a huge Tomb Raider fan, and obviously I told you, I said on the air, 9. Spider-Man's a 9 for me. And if people don't agree, I hear it. But I'm saying for me as a Tomb Raider fan, especially the rebooted Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider was my game of the year when it came out. It's still revered as one of my favorite action. I actually like it more than Uncharted 4. I'm going to get booed, but I like it more than Uncharted 4. I really enjoy it.
Earmuffs for some of the guys that I hang out with all the time. I got to be honest with you. I kind of like Uncharted more than Tomb Raider. That's a me problem, apparently. But I mean, that's because there's one thing that, and I can't remember if it was Shady I talked to or somebody on a podcast a few weeks ago. And, we were saying that being linear in a game like a Tomb Raider or an Uncharted, to me personally, even though Uncharted comes off as quite linear, even though they had that little expansive world there where that map where you had the Jeep and you can go all over, and I get it, but it was still very linear. I just enjoyed that. And I like that, even though the God of War game was kind of linear. If you think about it, you can go off and search, and there's a lot of side quests. But
it's like branches.
But it's branches, right? It's branches. Like, I like that, though. See, I kind of dig that. And Tomb Raider, for me, for some reason, like Crap was saying, I don't mind puzzles. But they hide the tombs, then they solve the puzzle, then there's the caches, then there's the collectibles, then there's the side missions, then there's the main mission, then and it's like, holy shit, I mean, it's like, my God, you're almost trying to be a mini Witcher. And I mean, not by no means. I mean, Witcher's like 7,000 hours, right?
Super mini, super mini, micro.
The thought process is there. So but I get what you're saying there, Boom. I want to hear what the rest of the panels do. Myself, I believe I'll be done with Spider-Man.
Hey, Boom, I got a great answer. Boom, I got a great answer for you, man.
Sure.
I'm just going to wait until 2020 when they come out with a box set of all 3 for the Scarlet, man. There you go.
Nice.
I'm still waiting for that Game Pass release.
Me too. That makes 2. That makes 2 of us. I'm still waiting for the announcement.
I didn't say it this time.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Hey, Mooch, I think I have an answer to your question as to why this Tomb Raider wasn't done 100% by Crystal Dynamics, and why they didn't wait, sorry. And that's because they did get their hands on the Marvel franchise. And I got to say, this Marvel franchise is late to the party in video games. The movies have been printing money for well over a decade now, and there's no gaming to support that. That is as good, right? It just doesn't exist. And so now that they have it, I don't know the details, but if it's similar to Star Wars and EA, they have it for a decade. So I'm thinking they're going to be doing nothing but Marvel for a decade. And if they wanted a Tomb Raider, or if we wanted a Tomb Raider, we'd be waiting way too long if we wanted Crystal Dynamics to make it themselves. And
wow. So you think Crystal Dynamics is signed off on Tomb Raider and they're going all on Marvel?
I think so.
What's the deal with these type of deals that they're doing? Like back in the day, I get it. Not all the games are great, but you used to get like Captain America had a game on the 360. Thor had a game on the 360. There was Marvel Ultimate Alliance, 2 of those on the 360. We had games. From the Iron Man had 2 games. One of them was really bad, but one of them was okay. We had these type of games, and here we are. They've got this big, like, $1 Marvel franchises that are doing really well, and we don't have any video. It's almost like a waste, in my opinion. Just like Star Wars having that license to EA has been a waste, because literally the only 2 games we've gotten are Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
Well, I mean, we've gone almost 2 full generations with only the Force Unleashed 1 and 2, and then Lego games. That's it. Like, oh my God!
Thank God for the Lego games.
On the planet, Star Wars is just untapped in video games. It shocks me.
Well, when it comes to Marvel, what I think was going on, they built up this MCU, and they did it. They did it kind of slowly, kind of methodically, starting with the first Iron Man.
Methodically.
I think you're right. They are kind of late to the party, but I think they are setting up. they're kind of like huge conglomerate there. And I think when it comes down to it, when it comes to like Thor and Iron Man and stuff, we've gotten so used to seeing them all together now with Avengers that the game that's going to come out is the game that's going to have more than one superhero in it. You see what I'm saying? I think that's the one that they really want to stamp MCU approved, is one that has the multiple kind of like superheroes going in.
Wasn't there a rumor that it was just Marvel Ultimate Alliance kind of a reboot or whatever?
Oh, that would be a letdown.
No, actually, well, I mean, look, it's not going to be called Ultimate Alliance, from what I understand, and what was described to me by Comic Book Casters, which is where I got the information from. It's supposed to be on the lines of Ultimate Alliance. I don't know if it's going to play exactly like it. I don't know if it's going to be a 3 3/4 kind of a look or a Diablo style game, but I know that it's supposed to be a very big deal. So, we don't know anything else past that. I know that it's 70 plus characters.
Woo!
And the reason why they were waiting, if you want to know, the reason why, and this has been confirmed, the reason why the game was delayed, because it was originally going to launch without X-Men and the Fantastic Four because of the deal. But now that Marvel bought Fox and that deal is official, those characters, all of the X-Men and all of the Fantastic Four, good guys, bad guys, will be in this game.
Shout out to Stephen Rush. Yeah, the next door game will have a throwable X. Great. Insta hit right there. Guys, let me just change it over to this because I want to get the panels thought. We've been talking about it for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm the one that's saying, I'm not saying you're going to drop your controllers to run to it. But let's be honest. Call of Duty Blackout might be. It has potential to be a lot of hashtag fun.
Absolutely.
Mooch, I'm coming around.
What's the story? What's the story behind that title again? I forget. What's the campaign about?
Well, there is none. That. No,
yeah. They sacrifice Captain Stew Nuts. Also gone is the 60 frames per second in the blackout mode. So you got that to look forward to. Yeah. They said it's not going to be.
That's not what they said.
Yeah, they said it's not going to be a consistent 60.
They said that it has the capability of getting up to 60. They're not there yet.
Yeah, they said
they didn't say they're not.
Well, yeah, but I can imagine it probably.
But crap, we can't sit here every week, day in and day out, and be like, you know what, PUBG at 30 frames, bring it on.
Oh no, hey, listen. I'm just saying, like PUBG though, if you look at it, like you're talking about a game that lets you customize a lot of stuff and things like that. Third person that's complete where you search for your weapons. This Blackout just seems like you start with the loadout, and then you go out there. And and it is kind of what it is. It seems completely different than what Battle Royale is, or what we've come to
I hope so, to be honest with you. I think that might have been the best sales pitch I've heard yet for it, is that it is different than all the other Battle Royales.
I mean, isn't part of the fun of Battle Royale like you spawn with nothing and you go and look for your stuff?
It's the survival aspect,
you'll still have the scavenge part of it. That's not, you didn't say that wouldn't be there. You said
what would you have to scavenge if you have a loadout of weapons?
No, you won't have a load. You'll have probably slot designations for weapons, but you still be able to go out there and collect. I got news for you, crap. I don't need 15 4X scopes like I have in PUBG, and then I have to drop them all later on. Like, it's annoying. I don't mind
Mooch, if they actually pick up 2, man. What are you doing?
I know. Well, sometimes I'm a mooch. I pick everything up on the ground.
Yeah, then give them to your teammates, man. What the hell?
I can honestly say this is the Call of Duty game that I have no interest in. I have no interest in the beta. I have no interest.
I think it's going to do very well, crap.
I don't think it's going to do. I
think the Battle Royale mode is what's going to kind of put it over the top. I don't think it's just going to be the guys with superpowers. No. I know that I'm in the minority, and crap is right there with me. I am coming around because I thought that the Blackout looked good. I personally wouldn't buy this. I'll play it if I win it, and I'm in a lot of contests, but I would not spend $60 on this for just the Blackout mode. I would pay $60 for just a campaign mode. Yes.
Oh, come on, Boom.
I'd rather Destiny be the last game on Earth than play this damn game.
Boom, listen. Hey, Boom, I'll make it up to you. Crap, and Boom. If you guys want to pick up the game, here's what we could do. We'll all go in the Blackout. And then what you guys can do is you can follow me around and be like, you can just pretend I'm Captain Stew Nuts. And you can just follow me around and be like, guys, go this way. way. Let's go this way. Shoot those guys. Shoot
There's
those
so
guys.
many other games coming out, and I don't think you're going to be on that.
And then I'll give you a quote of a dead president, like after they did. I'll give you guys a quote when you die. Like I really listen. To be honest with you guys, the game I understand. Listen, they fell short. Something happened. We'll find out when somebody writes a book. Okay, but realistically, something fell short. There's no single player. But realistically, at the end of the day, us hardcore guys that are sitting here all the time that play, and everyone likes the Chivos, they like this and they like that. I get it. But realistically, at the end of the day, everyone's playing Call of Duty for multiplayer. It's really no. There's no skin off anybody's nose on this. I mean, I know you guys don't like it. I know what you're saying. Crap, you make a great point, but at the end of the day, the casuals don't care about following Captain.
I disagree. If you look at let's take a look at some of the games that have come out with lack of campaigns, and then what did they do with the sequel? They come out with campaigns. Look at Titanfall. Look at Star Wars Battlefront, because the casuals complained about no campaigns. A lot of people for these multiplayer games use campaigns to familiarize.
Which game was that crap?
Titanfall and as well as Battlefront.
They did, and don't get me wrong, but see, I mean, Titanfall is the tale of two coins, because what's funny about it is, you're right, the first one came out, Crap's right. They were like, I want a campaign. The second one came out, they put all their effort in the campaign and forgot about the multiplayer.
Well, no, what they did was they casualized the multiplayer,
right.
Tried to benefit off of that and draw into casuals, and it didn't work out. Like, they really changed it too much. They had too many lanes for the mechs, and then you had to deal with that ridiculous.
And there was actually camping. You get camping in Titanfall?
Yeah, you had like that. I never was camped in the first Titanfall. I regened and all that kind of stuff. The second one, I was spawn camped with snipers. And a camp spot. It was like ridiculous. And it wasn't fun. And also the lobby system that they created was where you could not get your friends in. They all had to accept the invite really quick or whatever. Yeah. Just really, really bad. So they messed up. I feel like this is Call of Duty's mess up. And you know what? Good. I'll sit out a year. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world.
Well, first of all, you're not missing anything, Crap. There's 150 games out this fall.
Exactly. I got, I'll have Red Dead 2. I'm going to probably get Battlefield 5. I'm gonna have
enjoy those 19 hours, Crap.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, look, I've enjoyed the beta, pretty much. So, it's something that I'm.
Here's the problem. Here's my problem. I think my biggest problem with Battlefield, besides the fact that you die from a crop duster if somebody walks by,
I have yet to die from planes.
I understand that. That's fine. But I think the biggest problem I have with Battlefield 5 is the Battlefield 5 audience. And the Battlefield 5 audience, they don't like Battlefield 5 as much as they like hating Call of Duty. And that's the biggest problem I got with all this. It's like, if you like Battlefield 5 because you're tactical, knock yourself out. Really, honestly,
well, you know what I like about Battlefield? Aside from that game looking amazing, the beta on the X, like, holy crap. It's just, you feel like you're in a damn battlefield. Like, honestly, like I can't imagine anything being, it's super almost realistic, like, and I think that's you have your squad and you're doing stuff, and I think I like that. I like that a lot. I've actually enjoyed it a little bit more since I played it, and then I played it with some friends the other day, and I was like, man, this is pretty good actually. The guns, first of all, what a difference one World War to the next makes. These, you get some automatic weapons and things like that. They didn't really go with the realism aspect because you get like the sights and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. And they aren't crop dusters anymore. They're actual planes and things like that, and tanks. So I'm actually enjoying it. I think it's pretty cool.
No, I like both franchises myself. And with this new COD, while I do find it just like crap, a big slap in the face with no campaign, it wasn't a hard enough slap to knock me out. This Battle Royale mode looks fire, man. All the vehicles ripping around in COD for the first time. Vehicles and multiplayer, as far as I'm aware.
Well, World at War had tanks on some maps.
That's also how long ago? It's been a decade. So let's
2008.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think this looks really good. Call of Duty is got tight gameplay. It's fast. It's furious. Your mobility is, really, really good. I think it's going to do really well in the Battle Royale. The zombies expanded. I don't play zombies myself, but I love co-op, so I've always wanted to give it a try, just find the right crew. But that no campaign, it does suck. I do buy my CODs for a good 50%. Reason is the campaign. They're great, even just for the one playthrough. It's a
God bless you. God bless you.
It's fun.
Check this out.
It's like a charity you gave to. Go ahead.
Check this out, Mooch. Unfortunately, when it comes down to it, this Call of Duty is going to sell well. You know why? It's going to sell well? The key demographic to Call of Duty is like the younger 10 to 14
The Fortnite
boys.
crew.
All right, the Fortnite crew, exactly. The
Yes.
mobile gamers as well.
Yes.
It's in that genre right there. And I got to be honest with you, that big group right there doesn't really care about a story. They just want to go in multiplayer and shoot somebody else is what they want to do. And Call of Duty is going to give that to them. I think in the long run, if they continue to stay with this practice, they're going to lose kind of like their veteran, kind of like Call of Duty gamers and stuff like that. And eventually that whole tide is going to turn, you know? And when that happens, Call of Duty, I'm not sure if it's going to like live through all this, if this is the way they're going to keep it going from iteration to iteration.
They already said that next year's is going to, or it came out that next year's is going to be Modern Warfare 4, and there's a story.
Okay.
So there's a campaign.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a campaign.
Treyarch screwed up. They
Yeah,
weren't able to get this done. They were making one, and they couldn't get it done. And it wasn't even going to have blackout mode. They didn't even think about that till over halfway into the development cycle. So originally, everybody was just going to get the multiplayer with the zombies, and that's it. And then they're like, "Hey, let's go chase that Battle Royale trend because I bet we can
they looked over at Fortnite. It's like,
yeah,
those people are playing that, so let's just put that in here.
Yeah, like, and I always feel like Call of Duty was at its best when it was doing its own thing, and you had everybody chasing that. I can remember when Battlefield used to chase Call of Duty trends, right? And now you have both Battlefield and Call of Duty chasing these other trends, and it's really kind of sad to see, to be honest with you. Like,
Well, it's
you know, how
the guards crap.
How far they've fallen, honestly. Like, you know, like at what point did these developers, and this goes for a lot of developers, lose track of what the fans want? They just don't care.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
That's true. No, I totally agree with that. And it's funny. A couple people in the chat are really, really funny. Who else? Anybody else got anything on the blackout? I mean, listen, I'm excited because here's my situation. Okay, Call of Duty. It's not like Call of Duty is going to really eat up a lot of my fall. Okay, holiday time. It's not. But I play a lot of Fortnite with the family, and I'm a little Fortnite. Yeah, exactly. Crap might be right. I'm a little Fortnite out now. I mean, I've played 3 or 4 seasons now, and I'm like, I'm just kind of getting a little tired of it, and everything they're talking about is coming. I'm like, yeah, it's just more.
The kids aren't tired at all. They're like, let's keep going.
They still love it. They do. But
my goodness.
I'm hoping, this is where I'm hoping, and I understand that crap's not in this audience, so I get it. Or you guys that are not, Shady maybe not too. But like, I've been playing in a Fortnite now where I'm like, all right, now I want to go over to Call of Duty and see what they're bringing to the table. And I hopefully, you know, there's not going to be any dancing. There's not going to be any building any skyscrapers up like crap says the Stairway to Heavens. There'll be none of that. And it'll be a little bit more of the Call of Duty that we're used to. And it is one of the better teams. They may have messed up what they did on the single player and didn't get it done. But if Radical Heights could come together in 3 months, I would love to see what the millions of dollars and the hundreds of people at Treyarch can put together in a year and a half, halfway through the cycle. It's going to be great. And you can go ahead and put that in
I
the
don't know if it's going to be great.
It is.
If you were to, dude, Mooch, I love you, dude, but you can't just sit there and state these things as facts.
They showed it.
It's not. It's
You said you didn't see it. I seen it now.
No, I didn't see what they were showing right now, but it's just fucking Battle Royale in Call of Duty.
Right, but that's good for the.
Like these guys are great developers. They couldn't even put
crap. If Fortnite can just have different skins come out every 2 hours, and that's great. Why can't I say the 800-pound gorilla of COD is going to be great? That goes head to head with it.
But they couldn't even get a campaign done. I have very little faith that they can chase a trend like this and get it done.
You're only telling half of the clip. The part that they couldn't get done is they tried something very radical in the single player and they said it failed.
Yeah, so it's called having a single player.
No, they've made single players a million times. They could have just
their last one was so bad that nobody.
They've all been bad.
No, they haven't, man.
They're all bad. Whether you're Jon Snow or you're the guy from House of Cards, who gives a shit?
Terrible.
Who cares? Who you?
Dude, but hold on, but that's completely your opinion.
Well, so's yours.
I get that. I'm just saying,
what the hell are you talking about?
But you're like, it's great. You know, it's going to be great. And I'm like,
you said 2 weeks ago you can't say that you haven't seen it. Now I seen it, and you still said I can't say it.
I just don't know.
When can I say it? When I make it?
Listen, if you think it's going to be great, then that's fine for you. From what I've read and about it, it doesn't look like it's going to be great to me.
Well, Listen, you have to take great.
There's no interest.
It's great in comparison of Battle Royale. Not great in comparison to
interest.
Shadow or Spider-Man or Forza.
I have no interest in a first.
But you don't like Battle Royale really at all.
I mean, I like. I think PUBG's okay.
Right.
You know, I
but I mean, it's not your bag. Yeah. It's really not your bag. You're not going to be like, you know what I'm doing? I'm putting Shadow down. I'm putting Spider-Man down. I'm not going to buy Forza. I'm going to play PUBG. You're not doing that.
No, I'm going to have a whole shit ton. I always put over 100 hours in Forza Horizon.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, and what about you guys? Boom. What about you, Mr.? Well, you're not really. Are you a Battle Royale guy?
No, I'm actually not, to be honest with you. But I am going to say this. Okay. And again, I said it earlier. The blackout mode looks fantastic. I'm going to say that, but I'm also going to say that if I don't get it for free, Activision is not getting my money. I am really on the fence. I have to throw this out there for the 100th time. No campaign means no money from Boom.
That was an interesting Mooch line. Did you hear that crap? He said, if I'm not getting it for free, Activision's not getting my money.
Yes.
That was great. That was very well put.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
That should come out of a fortune cookie.
I learned from the best, sir.
That was great, Boom.
This is the first attempt we've seen from a big AAA company to hit the Battle Royale scene for the hardcore.
Yeah.
Epic is a AAA, but Fortnite isn't for the hardcore. And PUBG has been a broken mess up until just recently for over a year. It's some little indie company from Korea. So now we got Activision, $1 billion Activision coming in and putting the tried and true Call of Duty formula.
And maybe they'll fail. Maybe they will fail. But I don't
really I think they're going to nail it. I think they're going to absolutely nail it.
I think they're going to crush it. And I think they're really being cocky about it because they're like, you know what? Crap's right. They fucked up the single player. Let's not beat around the bush. They did something really bad there. They messed up. So I think somebody was like, let me tell you something. You're going to go ahead and you're going to make a Battle Royale. If that's what you're saying the saving grace is, that thing better be Pulitzer. And I mean, I really think that this is going to be good. Now, if Battle Royale is not your thing.
I don't think you can use Pulitzer and Call of Duty in the same breath, man.
Again, I'm using it in Battle Royale reference. Think about the Battle Royales games, Xbot, okay? PUBG, Fortnite. What was that one there crap that we had the codes for? We had Darwin
Project.
The Darwin Project.
Yeah, that's already free to play now.
Right,
like a bunch of indie games, you know.
Radical Heights, and then it gets worse from there. So what I'm saying to you,
got Epic. You got Epic making Fortnite, and they did a great job.
Fortnite's the king.
Well, yeah, because they're putting out stuff all the time. Like
the number one reason Xbox people tell me they don't want to play PUBG. Okay, and they'd rather play Fortnite is crisp, clean, smooth mechanics. Now you have a competitor.
They should play PUBG now, though, to be really honest.
Don't get me wrong, PUBG is still better it's better than it used to be, but Fortnite's still smoother. And now you're going to have Call of Duty that's going to be smooth. It's going to play really crisp. Well, it should. Well, let me put it this way. That's not fair in Crap's defense. Let me say this much. I haven't played it. But I mean, I don't think
to me this Battle Royale thing with Call of Duty is
not going to not be smooth.
It just looks like an Activision thing. It looks like something. It's like, oh, this is what's hot right now. This is what everybody's playing. We aren't going to cash in on this. That's what it looks like.
But how many times are we going to sit here and say Activision and EA are bad because they like our money? So's McDonald's. So's Burger King. So's everybody else.
Like, I gave Activision $80
they want your money
for Forsaken. I mean, but it's something that I am into, and they have a ton of content with that. I just don't.
But there's people who are just like they have the allegiance for Call of Duty the same way that me and you have it for Destiny. Like Crap thinks I'm crazy because I gave him another $70.
I could tell, man.
Right? He's like, you're nuts, and I'm like, well, I really enjoy it. But like, there's people that are willing to pay $60 to just because it says Call of Duty, and I don't know.
Mooch, at the end of the day, with this argument right here, and you can go to the rest of the panel, with this argument right here, I'm really on the outside of the window looking in because I don't invest in Call of Duty on a yearly basis. But
you and Mel had World War II.
Yeah, Snaps got it. I played with her. I had fun while I was there. But anytime I played World War II, when I put the controller down and walked away, when I went back to the console, I wasn't like, damn, man, I really got to put that Call of Duty back on. Like, it just never really hooked me that way.
Right, and I mean, and you know what? Shame on me for not even paying attention, but I believe he's right. Fortnite runs at 4K 60.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm trying to say. That's a big deal. Like it feels smooth. I have a buddy of mine. Shout out to Predator H2O. Predator is a big fan of military shooters. He says it all the time. And I have a friend of mine works with me. He loves same thing, military shooters. And I said to him, I said, why aren't you playing PUBG? And he's like, dude, I just it doesn't have the smoothness that Fortnite has. And he's like, I just want to play the Battle Royale thing and not have any problems, glitches, rubber banding, etc. Now, a lot of that's been fixed, but it's still 30 frames. And crap, we saw articles that came out when PUBG was going to be in the initial part of preview program. They said that the X could run this thing at 60.
Yeah.
And I still think it can. Like, I don't know why PUBG doesn't have that smaller map at 60.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I mean, I wasn't looking for an answer.
I watched the Blackout trailer. I mean, it looks just like a bunch of fast stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like that. Right. It really does. They haven't done anything to sway me. Like the needle, it's at 0. So
when you take out the highlights of PUBG, it's almost a sleeper. It is so slow paced.
I like the tactical.
Yeah, me too.
I like kind of the tactical setup. You know what I mean? Like I like that. So to me, like when I look at Blackout, I'm sure it's going to be fun for those that are going to play it. Yeah. But for me, it just looks like this crazy bunch of nonsense that I probably wouldn't enjoy. That's sort of the reason why I don't like Fortnite. It like you're building that stuff and people are jumping all around and you know like it's just like they're using trampolines at and building a skyscraper to wherever. And I'm not a big fan of that. And this Call of Duty, just like people throwing monkeys that explode and you know what I mean? Yeah. Ridiculously like something I'm not going to be interested in.
Well, you know how Call of Duty is just so fast. Like you see someone and they're dead in a second and a half.
Yeah.
So is that like a Battle Royale game? You get in, you turn the corner, you're done, you're out. It's just gonna be weird to see how it plays out. I think it has a lot of potential. Yes. But it really could trip and fall.
The Black Ops name, the Black Ops name is gonna sell well because the third Black Ops was horrible and sold incredibly well. Yeah, so that's true. People are just gonna see, oh well, Black Ops 4, I better get that.
Yeah, I got to get that, right? Yeah, because I like it. I got to get it. And that's where in itself it lies. And they're falling on their laurels there. But you know what? Crap, it's probably gonna pan out for Activision. And you said it yourself. Maybe last year they sold 26 million copies. Maybe this year they don't do so well. They sell 22 million. That's not good as far as investors go. But it's enough to say, guess what? We're still making bank. We know they haven't put much money into like the new what is it there? The new engine, nothing like that. It's the same game.
Yes.
It's the same stuff. So like they're not spending tons of money on it.
Same graphics engine since 1982.
Right. And let me the show's getting close to the 2-hour mark, but I want to bring Alan. I'm going to go ahead and summon you here right now because I need you to say something on this. So I am very amped. I know the panel is. I know crap is. We're very excited for Forza Horizon 4. Okay, we're very excited for this.
Yes, of course.
But I usually love. And I mean this. I mean quotations, bold, italics, underlined, love when Forza does a commercial. Yes. This last commercial I thought was awful.
What?
Oh my God. That narrator was as funny as maybe like Goldblum at 3 a.m. without any sleep the night before. And then Goldblum, I love you. Goldblum, I'm kidding. I love you. What I'm saying, but
that's
come
a
on.
big pile of shit.
That is a big pile of shit, Goldblum. That is true.
When he mispronounced hoonigan as hooligan or multiplier instead of multi, like that's some funny stuff, man. It was well done.
Really funny, and the response online to it has been incredible. And
of course it is.
The
well, it can't be as bad as the Shadow of the Tomb Raider freaking trailer.
And I personally,
you guys liked it? I didn't even chuckle. I didn't even tee-hee.
Definitely better than the Shadow of Tomb Raider with the fucking cuteness.
Well, let's not compare it to anything. I just want to compare it to like the Forza Horizon 3 commercial was nasty. It was awesome.
I love that commercial, man.
Right? The third the third one?
The third one, yeah.
The third one was unfreaking believable. Like I wanted to get into my car, sit in the garage, and just rev the engine. But this one I didn't feel this way. This way I was like, this is a really shitty play. The older guy, he kind of looked like it was like the narrator for Cyberpunk.
Well, it was
meant to be touch the tires. Oh, you mean tires? Oh, and they did the same gag 3 times. I mean, what do you think, Alan?
Went over your head, Mooch.
It didn't go over anyone's head. It was right at mid-level. Go ahead.
No, I genuinely thought it was a good ad, and I thought it was a lot better than last year's ad for Forza 7.
Okay. I'm comparing it to Forza Horizon 3's ad, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I think it's quite a big step from last year. And I thought it was quite funny. I really enjoyed it. I think the Forza community as a whole quite liked it. And from what I'm seeing online, people seem to think it was really funny. Like, a lot of people just didn't expect that kind of ad. And it's kind of grabbed people's attention. I think it's good. I think it's what Forza Horizon 4 needs, you know? Like, especially this time of year when people are talking about that other PS4 exclusive game.
Hey, Alan.
Gets people talking about Horizon again. And as I said, I've been looking online and the response to it has been pretty
Alan
good.
Yao Ming says it's in the UK, Mooch. So he says, calm down. Naturally, guys, am I loud? My apologies. Listen,
I gotta say that trailer is fire, man. That
you liked it, Krabs? So you like BBC Radio? Go ahead.
Dude, it's hilarious. Yeah. Like they're actually showing some human nature to them.
Yeah.
I love it.
I liked what they showed of the game. Yeah. I didn't like the narrator.
Like, to me, that's funny as well as like that PlayStation commercial where the guy's singing opera and he's like, "I'm in your house." You know what I mean? Like that's
I know you dug that.
I like it. Yeah, I thought it was. I think it's
on David Attenborough and the nature shows that he does.
Yeah, that's what it was meant to be. It's meant to be like a parody of Planet Earth. And
that's right. And he's this old guy who's out of touch. Like I said, he's mispronouncing Hoonigan. What language is Hoonigan? I thought it was really well done, and I like this sense of humor that Microsoft seems to have with this and that Grease controller. That little humor there.
The Grease controller was hysterical. That was funny.
Last time I checked, video games are quote unquote fun and games. Let's tone down some of the seriousness of these like events and the trailers and stuff, and just let's have some fun with it again, like it was back in like the 90s.
Yeah, but I don't know if the guy from Masterpiece Theater is exactly what you're like prescribing for me, Shady.
I mean, dude, I laugh. Mooch, you're on your own here, bro. It's a you problem.
Yeah, it's definitely a me problem. I don't. That guy looked like somebody who sent me at a 5-star restaurant and wanted to ask me if I was too close to the bathroom at my table reservation. That wasn't that funny. Okay,
I'm looking at the commercial right now on the Xbox channel. Here's the ads. Absolute genius, hype level through the roof. That's the top comment. Let's see. Perfect game, perfect ad. David Attenborough style.
Read a bad one because it's there.
Okay, he's Maurice LaMarche. Guys, if you don't know who that guy is, he does the voices. He does various voices on for cartoon characters and stuff. Brilliant, man.
Wow.
He does voices on Futurama. He did.
Who's that? The narrator guy?
Yeah.
Why did they do that voice?
Because he does different voices. He was imitating the Attenborough style. But everybody,
there could be another more traditional ad which gets you pumped and it's playing the good music and their cars ripping around. Like
everybody's loving it. Though.
Well, it didn't have to be that shady. It could have been. It still could have been tongue in cheek, but just not that guy.
There should still be a launch trailer, anyways, dropping in a few weeks. So you are going to get another trailer.
I'm just shocked you guys liked it. I didn't even. It was all excited,
layers, man. Like they're
so excited to watch it.
They're making fun of the whole, every nature documentary has like an English guy talking over it, right?
Right.
But not only that, when you think about Europe, like when was the last time there was a nature documentary like showcased in the United Kingdom?
When was the last time a nature documentary narrator did an open mic night in New York City?
Well, let me say this. They do. Here's the most important thing.
It was great, man.
They show off what you're doing in the game. Like it looks gorgeous.
The game is not in question. The game was fantastic. It looked great.
Also, they did a really good job of showing off the seasons again, but also actually some of the wildlife in the game. A lot of people don't realize this, but there is actual animals in the game that you will see in the open world, and you can go up to them and you can chase them. You can take photos with them, put them on social media. Hashtag.
Does everybody everybody likes having wildlife in games, even if it's not relevant to the game? People like that.
Well, it actually, I don't know. It's like if
I'm driving at 115 miles an hour, I really don't care if there's a bunny by a tree.
Well, it adds to the ambience. It adds to the ambience, the immersion and stuff like that. So
it must be a New York thing. Boom.
It makes the open world feel alive.
Just like you complain if there's an open world game and there's not people, Mooch. If it's an open world
it must be. That's what I'm saying. The only thing we have in New York are people and pigeons.
Yeah, and
rats.
Oh, in Spider-Man, we could chase pigeons. Yeah.
I knew I was warned to that game for a reason, Xbot.
Don't forget bad sports teams.
The other thing.
Get out of here, crap. 2 Super Bowls, 10 years. Go ahead.
The other thing I want to mention about the ad as well, actually, is the game's set in Britain, and the ad just. It just fit that tone of
it
being set in Britain.
Really did.
That modern. That's it, Alan.
It's very classy. It's very historical.
It
That's
is.
the
it
theme
is.
the game is going for. So I think the ad worked well for that game.
But
But
I
for
noticed
another
they keep
it-
saying
it
historical
works.
Britain. Sorry, like is that where it's played? Like, were there gonna be old buildings, not modern buildings in the game? Like,
Well, no. So the
go with
game is set in the modern age, but it tries to almost replicate a historic Britain. So for
Ah.
the main city, rather than using London, they use Edinburgh, and Edinburgh is a very quite famous for its architecture. There's a lot of
I'm glad it's in England.
buildings there. So
Okay.
you're getting a more old-fashioned England in a way, and Scotland and Wales, but
Right.
you will have all your modern supercars in there. Don't worry. That's not impacted. It is a modern world, but there's a lot of historical buildings and architecture there.
Okay, that's cool.
I like its setting. I think the setting is fantastic. It's going to be a lot of those like country roads, right, Alan?
Yep.
Yeah,
A big
exactly.
open world.
Love that.
There's going to be huge forests that you can go through.
Nice.
There's going to be like a huge lake with a little island in the middle, and in winter that lake will freeze over and you can drive on it. And there's about
cool.
12 houses you can buy. Edinburgh Castle is one of them. You can actually buy that. There's a lot of stuff, and the map's pretty diverse.
Well,
And let's not forget about the Halo part that's going to be in there. And
Yes,
who's to say
that's
they
big.
may not bring other games
Boom
into that?
is trying
That's
to suck
big.
up to me right now, man.
Let me do this real quick. We only have a few minutes left. Alan, I'll start with you again. And guys, all chime in too as well after Alan's comment. Mikey Barr came out and kind of did a little bit of a lash out at Sony with the whole crossplay thing. I don't want to, crossplay to me, there's a lot of subjects people go, oh no, not this again on podcast. Crossplay for me is almost getting to that point, but I do want to say this because it did make news. I mean, I'm at the point right now, Alan, where I think Xbox can say whatever they want, and I think it's maybe in one way or another it's good press for them because they look like pro-consumer. But ultimately, until a developer comes out and says it, I don't think it really matters. What was your take on what Mike
have
said?
come out and said
One said it about a card game, but what do you think? I think we need more than that. Like, what do you think?
Mike's comment actually surprised me. I didn't expect him to say that, but when I saw it, I was really happy. That's exactly what he needed to say. Like at the end of the day, Sony's being really, really just wish-washy about the whole situation and trying to say the reason for not doing crossplay is because PS4 is the best place to play. Like that's a terrible PR statement. That is not what you want to have going into the next generation. And the thing is, if they keep with that stance, it will plague them going into next generation. Like this is something that the internet has grasped onto, and they really want crossplay, even if they're never going to use it. It's one of those things where I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of people on the panel would agree, it's the cross progression that's more important than the actual.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Now,
Agreed.
crossplay is still great. I've made use of it on Fortnite. It's handy there, but the cross progression is important. There's nothing worse than having a game on multiple platforms and you go on to another device and you have to start the game again if you want to play it there.
And I want to go over to Xbox. Let me just pay the bills real quick. Shout out to Yobi Dren Clown who says, sending you guys lots of love the panel tonight's, love the energy and questions for everyone. What game would you say that has grabbed you by the soul? And it can be any game. My personal one is the Mass Effect series. And you know what, Yobi Dren, before we do outros, I will go through the panel to ask them that. But Xbox, you had a point that you were trying to say about this whole Mikey Barr thing. Was there what's your thought on it? Do you think it was good timing, bad timing, or indifferent?
I mean, you got people on YouTube, people in the community that are saying that Xbox they're too kumbaya and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Well, they are. But go ahead.
When it comes to that camp, you gotta be happy that Mikey Barr spoke out on this.
I am happy he said something Xbox, but it kind of fell to deaf ears.
Well, I mean, anything that's coming out of Xbox's camp this generation is falling on deaf ears.
Agreed, Xbox. Yes.
At the end of the day, you got developers that are backing this up as well. You said about one card game, but they said about that game and going into the future when it comes to Bethesda,
good point.
Right?
Good point. But if they really
that,
wanted to make a stance, you say it on Fallout 76 and watch what happens.
But see, they're using that card game to give Sony a chance. I don't think
like a warning shot.
They don't want to take stuff away from a platform where they're gonna sell and make profit there. But they will inevitably, because this is where the industry is going. The developers have finally got a niche in there where they're going to lead the direction here. This is what the developers wanted to do. The gamers are backing it up now. The only thing that's left here, I mean, Nintendo's on board, Microsoft's on board. The only company that's left is Sony. So it's like everything is stacked against Sony right now to kind of either conform or kind of like you're gonna pay the consequences here, and that's where we're going. And I Mikey Bar is throwing it out there because it's a safe thing to say right now. You got pretty much, like I said, the gamers, the developers, Nintendo, and Microsoft all on the same side. He's not really risking anything by throwing it out there, man.
Agreed. Anyone else got a comment on this?
I don't think it's going to happen this gen, but I could see it next gen, and Sony will bless the community with crossplay and progression and get all the credit for doing so.
That's probably what's going to happen.
The message will be manipulated in such a absolutely genius, magical such a way that it'll look like Sony's the one that gifted everyone with the crossplay, and they'll take all the credit.
Oh my God. You read my mind, Shitty. What about you guys? Crap, anything on this? I know we talked about it on Xbox Nation.
I don't really care about crossplay as more as cross progression. So
agreed. I'm in the same camp as you. I mean, let me do this. Let me go back to Yobi Dren, who said what he said. What's the game? Crap, I'll start with you and we'll go right down. Crap, what's the game that kind of really, if you say that's the game of all time that grabs you in and you'll play it over and over again, you're on an island, it's all you can play. What do you play?
Shit. Hell if I know, man. Maybe KOTOR.
All right, that's safe. Goldblum. I'm going right down the line here as far as my lineup is here.
Darksiders.
Wow, good call. All right.
Wow.
I can read into that. Xbot.
All right. Well, you said greatest game, and you guys know if you've been following me, Super Metroid. But if I was on an island and only can play one game, I would probably go with something from the Halo series just because it has a lot more content. Yeah, I can get into single player. Mm-hmm. I possibly do like a team deathmatch or something like that as well. So there's like more content there. So I'd go with something from the Halo franchise, man.
Okay, I can dig that. Shady, how about you?
If I was stuck on an island, which is your question, I would take GTA with me because it does everything. But as far as the question from the chat went, which was which game stole my soul?
Oh, stole your soul. I'm sorry. I kind of gave it a modern twist.
It was Doom. Doom stole my soul. I still play the originals on PC and on the 360, and the new ones are insane for me.
There you go, folks. There's something about Shady I didn't know about. Nice. I can dig that, man. Alan, well, should we even ask Alan? We know what he's going to say.
Well, you know what I will say. So yeah, obviously it will be Horizon 3. It will be Horizon 3, but GTA is a very close runner-up.
And boom, let me go with you, and then I'll give my answer.
Resident Evil 2.
Nice, buddy. Very nice. Yeah. The Resident Evil series, I think you could always say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it literally could be anything 1, 2, 3, 4. I've even enjoyed 5, hated 6.
Original PlayStation or the remake?
Well, I would, of course, like the remake, to be honest, because then it's going to look amazing. But, I wouldn't really be beggars can't be choosers because I really enjoyed Resident 2. It's my favorite game of all time.
Bam.
That's awesome. And I'll say, shout out to So Shady and Alan. With the GTA, man, really does have a spot. I can't believe I'm actually really pissed at myself. You get mad at yourself. I'm pissed at myself for not playing GTA 5 enough. And Crap said it a while back on an MNC question that we got asked. And he said he would go back and play GTA 5. And ever since that, it's resonated with me. I'm pissed that I didn't. GTA 6, I'm going to dedicate a lot of time to when that comes out.
Mooch, you're just like me. You kind of let it roll by when they're doing the updates and stuff. You're like, oh, that looks cool.
It does. I'm like, oh, I really want to play that. Oh, all right. I guess I won't.
And now you're broke. You're just broke, man.
I'm broken from that. But mine would be actually, if I had to go ahead and say, I would probably say the Gears of War. Okay. Gears is just something where I can play. I don't mind playing the campaign over and over and over again. The acting, the story, I like it. And I would say if I have to hone in on one, I'd say Gears of War 2. But that being said, and also shout out to AJ Felton in the chat. He goes, you know what mine is? Yeah, we do, AJ. It's Shenmue. So we know what AJ likes. So. Shout out to AJ.
Well, guys, if you're stuck on an island, you can still use a forklift with Shenmue.
Yes, sure.
And in part 2, he moves them by hand and coughs.
Crap. I gotta give Crap credit. He's playing through them all. My hat goes off to him. Let's go here. We'll go in reverse order here. I'll start with Dark Goldblum. Goldblum, you actually had a segment tonight that I'm gonna clip and just keep dear to my heart.
Jurassic World.
Barry Goldblum. He was like, as you can see, if I take this water and I put it on your hand and it kind of drips slightly south, it's because there's a dinosaur over there. Goldblum, thanks for being here tonight, bro. It was awesome having you, bro. Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live with the same name. You guys can check me out every Saturday on the next podcast at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. You guys can always find me on TSGP. That is the Saltiest Gaming Podcast every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Very cool, Goldblum. Always good to have you here and truly appreciate your opinion on everything. So Shady, who's with us, and he'll be on again and again. We're going to have him on as a special guest occasionally and often. So, Shady, let everybody know where they can find you, please.
Everyone can find me at the Sesh Empire on Twitter, and they can also find me on Xbox. I am So Shady. Come hit me up. Maybe we'll play some. It'd be fucking rad.
Very cool, dude. Good to have you. I appreciate it. And then I'll go down to Senora Boombastic Boom. I know you're going to probably try Netflix tonight, but I prefer you were on Spider-Man. Where can people find you, buddy? You got a lot of great videos you put out in the past couple days.
Oh, I appreciate it very much. Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Boomstick XL. My DM is open. I talk with everyone. And please, if you want to see content that's fair, that's honest, that's daily, check out my channel, Double Barrel Gaming with Mr. Boomstick on YouTube.
My favorite Boom video is the one where he said that we're gonna play Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
No, I'm never taking that down.
Waiting for that.
I thought it was the one where he put the God of War edition PS4 on a Lazy Susan and spun it around. No, I'm only kidding. I love it, Boom. Love it. I love it. No, honestly, Boom, you do great work, buddy. And honestly, there is something very refreshing about going to your channel. You go there, and I mean it. I truly do. You have there's a life about you. The channel just, I don't know, for some reason, it reminds me of the first times I started flipping through YouTube. When you go to your channel, there's no nonsense, there's no bias. It's just someone that gives a shit about gaming, and you can tell you put your heart and soul into it. So please keep it up, Boom. We really appreciate it.
It reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah,
thanks, right? It's a refreshing breath of air. So it's really cool to have Boom on the channel.
Thank you.
And then for a man himself, Alan Walsh, it's already tomorrow. That's how good he is, folks. He's in the future. Alan, thanks for being here, buddy. We love having you on. Where can people find you?
Always a pleasure to be on the show. All my social media and Xbox Live is at Beetle Comment. The website's fullthrottlemedia.co.uk. Today, I actually just dropped stories on the full car list for Horizon 4. So if you want to know all the cars, that's there. The full soundtrack, if you want to know all the songs, that's now there. And also for next week, there's going to be a lot of news about the Forza 7 September update and a lot of Horizon.
Remember when
4
you were
stuff.
banter comment for a week? That was fun.
Yeah, that's because my Twitter account got locked. I actually had my Twitter account locked for 2 weeks.
Crap's like a YouTube historian. I love it. It's great.
Great.
And then my buddy Xbot448, who's confused with Xbot Destiny Yacht.
Yeah, people are calling me Bungie Bot for
your Bungie Bot. I like that. Actually, that's pretty damn good. Xbot, you got a great show coming up tomorrow. Let people know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, very special show tomorrow. After a 2-week hiatus, K Mega is coming back to the panel.
We gotta save Locke together.
So
we gotta do it, Bot. We gotta save Locke.
Gotta save Locke. Yeah, that's
save him. Somebody's gotta save him.
But tomorrow, 7 p.m. Everybody come in. With K Mega being gone for 2 weeks, we kind of give him the business when he comes back. He's sent like pictures in the DM. He's ready to go, little gifts and stuff like that. So he's ready to hit us back with whatever we got. It's gonna be a fun show, man.
Very cool, Xbot. I'm sure it will. It's always entertaining on the next podcast. And then last but certainly not least, my co-host on MNC. We are doing mornings. Crap Gamer, Crap, where can they find you?
This Sunday, we're doing MNC mornings on your channel.
Yes, I'm very excited to be back on Sunday mornings for it's special.
Yeah, and we're giving away Spider-Man to the winner of Guest at Metacritic.
Yep.
And we're also spinning the Patreon wheel. Somebody's going to win a game there. So we got lots of giveaways and channel Crap Gamer reviews. Now, when we finish up here, back to
Destiny 2.
Spider mediocrity, and finish that up because I want to try and get a review out tomorrow. So I'd like to try. I hear I'm halfway through. So, but looking up this thing. So
yeah, pretty. Yeah. If you're that many hours in,
I don't mess with a lot of the side stuff.
No, so you move forward. So I would say you're probably halfway through because I heard between 10 and 15 hours if you're going right through it. Yeah.
Yep. I have no interest in beating up 1-800 thug, random thug, over here, over there.
1-800 thug. Oh, that's great. Well, we're all really looking forward to the review. Everyone, guys, great show tonight. Great chat. Thank you for all the
It's
super
all
chat.
great.
Appreciate it. Greatness happened yesterday, folks, and a lot of you experienced it today. We'll see you guys next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Good night. Enjoy gaming. Peace.
Take it easy.
Later.